Not a lot of people thought that he was as good as, but he was a very, very hard person to play ruck against. Very hard play, yeah.
I'm going to ask that question, John.
Which
question?
Spoke
about off air, just in regards to Bluey. Back when I was playing footy in Bendigo, there's a fellow by the name of Darren Jackson. Darren Jackson managed to get in contact with me at the end of '92 in about October.
And I told him to go and recruit you.
Yeah. So So John said this could go either way here. Bluey won't have a clue who Darren Jackson is, and he won't have a clue who you are. But I must say that from there, that's basically where my career has gone in regards to not necessarily footy, but education, because I'd done a 4-year degree and I was driving forklifts at Castle Bacon back in the day at night and trying to teach during the day and playing footy there. And then I think it was October roughly. I think we're probably not far off having our celebrations.
Jacko rang me up and said, and I watched you play a bit, and I don't know, something just caught my eye about you, and I said, go and get that Don Moran.
Yeah. Don't tell him that, Blue.
No, well, that was it. That was and it was one of those things. We talk about footy circles and things. Is that at that point, we talk politics. Jeff Kennett was the one that took all the phys ed jobs out of it, and it got to the point where, as I said, I was up working at Castle Bacon, and I sort of thought, what am I going to do next? And because I remember saying to Darren, that I'm 22 years of age, and you want me to coach your team, and he said, yeah. And I said, how are we going to get you there? And I said, if you get me a teaching job, I'll come and do it. And they invited me up and had an interview with the principal, and then by the Sunday night, by the time I got home, I had a job as a coach at 22.
Good. And that's good.
Yeah,
he owes you a beer, I reckon, doesn't he?
Yeah, bloody oath I do. You did right there.
Louis, before we let you go, because you've got a lot of things to do this afternoon, socialising. The state of the game nowadays. How do you see the game?
Don't like it
at all.
No, I don't like it. I don't go to footy.
No, you're talking AFL or local or both?
Yeah, I'm talking. I haven't seen much Bendigo footy. I don't know why, but AFL, I don't like the way it's umpired. I turned the telly off at quarter time last night. The umpires just frustrate me. I go crook at the telly, and
I don't think you're alone.
Do you reckon it's over umpired?
Oh yeah, for sure, it is. Yeah, way over umpired.
It's my take too.
I think till I get back to a few of the basics, hold the man, dropping the ball, all that sort of stuff. I think they've got to do that. And the other thing I would do quickly, I'd get rid of the 2 wings straight away. I'd make it back to 16.
Down to 16,
Try and open it
VFA
up.
days, yes.
Yeah, try and open it up a bit. Yeah.
All right, Tony Southcombe, thanks so much for just giving a small amount of your time. I'm sure you're really popular down there. You're still a publican, I believe. So, I'm sure you can have a fantastic afternoon and enjoy the footy as much as you can today.
I will. Okay. Thanks so much.
Cheers.
All right.
Thanks, Blue.
Good on you, Don.
That was Bluey Southcombe. Tony from yesteryear, of course, Don, and that was an interesting chat talking about not only things yesterday and his view on the game.
Yeah, I definitely owe him a beer. Thanks for putting that on me. But more than happy to buy Bluey Southcombe a beer. It's amazing how people I don't think understand that even at country footy how doors open up for you and help you move through with your life and career path, not just the mateship. But he's definitely had a huge influence on how it rolled for me.
Big pre-game still ahead. We've got a lot to get through before the start of this one at 2:20. We've got a short break. And after that break, we'll be talking to the injured player, Joel Wharton, from the Dragons. So don't go anywhere. A big afternoon in football where round 6 will be completed by the end of the day, where it is the Sandhurst Dragons taking on Golden Square in the Ron Best Memorial Cup, where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. We're live from Wade Street to complete round number 6 here in the Bendigo Football Netball League, where we are celebrating Ron Best. It's the Ron Best Memorial Cup, where Sandhurst taking on Golden Square this afternoon to complete and round out round number 6 here for season 2024. Fantastic conditions here, and even though Golden Square may not be at strength they have in previous years, it is always a good contest. John Hunter, Cam Power and Don Moran bringing you all the action this afternoon live across Bendigo and Central Victoria on 101.5 FM, online on your free Community Plus radio app, where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. We continue with our big pre-game, the lead-up at this game will start at 2:20, but a couple of injuries with Sandhurst, the Dragons, and one of them is sitting in here the box with us. And I'll say welcome to Joel Wharton.
G'day, how are you?
Am I allowed to call you Skinny, am I, Joel?
Yeah, that's all fine.
They all call you Skinny, do they?
Yeah, they do.
Now, we just, I got a bit of a glimpse that you might have a bit of a dodgy calf, is that right? Is that why you're not playing this afternoon?
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, against South Bendigo 2 weeks ago, did the calf in the second quarter. So yeah, won't be playing today and probably next week as well.
Have you had that injury before, Joel, or...?
Yeah, once before, last year actually. It's basically the same thing again on the left calf, so yeah.
You've been around a while now. I suppose you're getting to that age where that's going to occur. But apart from a couple of little niggling injuries, you seem to be in pretty good form. You're still enjoying playing footy at this level?
Yeah, loving it. Yeah, started off the year pretty well, and I was happy with my form. So a little bit annoying to get the injury now, but I guess that's a part of footy, I guess.
After the last game, I obviously went into the rooms after the game and noticed you've got the full ice bath setups and everything. So it looks like you guys at Sandhurst take your recovery pretty seriously. Just touch on how, since when you first started to how it is now in terms of recovery after a game.
Yeah, definitely. We kind of have to recover, I guess, kind of even just myself kind of getting older in age. You do need to kind of get that recovery in straight away. We have the ice baths at the QEO there that we kind of jump in straight after each week. It's just kind of something that's probably the professionalism has kind of increased kind of across my time, that's for sure.
Is that a mandated thing that every player must do the ice bath, or is that an optional kind of player setup that majority would go for?
Oh, everyone does it. It's not really spoken about as such, but yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone gets in there, that's for sure.
Noel Walsh out of the game today as well. Touch on his injury. I think it was a quad last game against South Bendigo, I believe. Didn't play last game, now not in today either. So how many weeks are we going to miss seeing him? Absolute superstar of the competition.
Yeah, so he did his quad against South Bendigo as well. I think he'll be similar to myself, probably not next week and maybe the week after. Not 100% sure, but yeah, something like that I think.
Cooper Smith goes out today, but Oscar Perez, who's been around the club for a while now, gets his opportunity in the seniors. Yeah,
which is great. He's my cousin, Oscar, so it's good to see him get the opportunity. I'm sure it'll go well today.
And last season, you were a strong side, of course, grand final bound for a little while. Unfinished business?
Yeah, definitely. Kind of didn't quite get there last year, so if we can kind of go that one step further this year, that'd be great, and kind of obviously playing against the team that lost to last year for sure.
Now, Hamish Hosking, you lost last year, big ruckman. Has that caused a change in your game plan? Have you discussed that, or is it just basically you've just rolled on from where you were last year?
Oh, when you lose a player like Hamish, it obviously changes things slightly, but we're definitely still trying to go about things the same way through the midfield there for sure.
Yeah, the way I saw him play last year, he was more of a grab ruckman and then almost like another midfielder, so he was actually running with the footy and kicking himself. So I guess there's that little bit of a subtle change with Connor Sexton. How have you found Connor Sexton's work this year?
Yeah, it's been very good. I think kind of each week he's grown in the position and he's only going to get better as the year goes on.
So, obviously, you touched on the fact that you did lose to Golden Square last year in the grand final. This is the team that you're playing against today for the first time. But with the changes that Golden Square's had to their lists and all their everything like that, did it get touched on at all during the week? Or do you touch back on what went wrong in that day? Or do you just forget about it and move on since it's a very different looking side, or how did you approach that?
No, it was definitely spoken about, but not kind of talked about that in that great deal. Obviously, yeah, kind of last year stung, but it's a new year this year, so more focused on 2024 than 2023.
Couple of goals against Gisborne in the game that we saw earlier this year, or our Bendigo City Framers best on ground that day. But I touch on the forward line. You've got some absolute options down there. I'm loving what Kobe Maxted's doing down there, and obviously we know what Fergus Green's capable of down there. So one thing I found with Sandhurst is that the spread of options of goal kickers that they have in that forward line must be something that you guys are really pleased with, and not being so one-dimensional.
Yeah, most definitely. We have quite a few tools down there that can all take a mark, and I think one kind of positive is we're spreading the load. We're not kind of that reliant on one person as such, and maybe 1 week someone gets off the chain a little bit, but and the others can pick up the slack when required.
Isaac Carraher comes in. He did play a few senior games last year early on. He must have been playing well and tearing it up on the track to get his chance.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's been in the best every game so far in the reserves, and he's just been knocking down the door, and he gets his opportunity today, and I'm sure he'll make the most of it.
Now, I know you're 30, so you're probably not training like the rest of them, because I know when I hit 30, I didn't like going to training, but is there anybody at training that's really tearing it up and pushing for selection that we don't really know about it? Because you've got a different perspective than what we've got. We only see, obviously, what happens here on a Saturday, but a footy club's much more than that. So who else you got there running around, particularly training-wise, that really lights it up for you?
Oh, there's numerous. Do you mean someone from the reserves who's
either, really?
Oh, I think
because it's really important at training. You get those characters, sometimes the jovial ones, or the guys that are really intense and not so intense. But who at training sticks out to you?
Oh, I guess one who's kind of always talking, who plays reserves footy is Conor O'Farrell. He's probably the guy who brings the most energy of anyone.
Is he? Brother of
Sean, and Paddy.
Yeah.
The three brothers out there, 2 of them are out injured still at the moment, so it's quite interesting. On game day, when you're not playing, do you have some sort of role that you would do with Ash, where he might come up to you and say, I want you to look at this, or are you just purely here as a spectator today?
I'll kind of have a look at the game, see how kind of everything's going, and if there's anything I want to kind of add in, I will, but no kind of specific role as such.
I've seen a fair bit of you play football, and at times it seems to me you push forward really hard and you hit the scoreboard a lot, and other times you kind of hang back a bit. Is that just instinct, or is that instruction from the bench? Is there any kind of game plan that is specifically you to be a goal kicker?
Not necessarily. I just try and play my role in the team, and sometimes I guess kind of with our forward line we have so many options. Sometimes we'll hit the scoreboard, other times kind of you necessarily won't. But I guess kind of when it's your day, you want to try and kind of kick a few. But if not, it's just about that kind of pressure and all that and that's kind of the main role there.
Well, it's been a big pre-game Skinny Wharton. The one thing I do love is that you wear the long sleeves and you're a left footer, so I can really relate to you. But hope you get over the injury. Hope you get back as quick as you can, and we'll see you at the back end of the season into the finals.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you.
That was the injured, well, we'll call him forward, halfback and centreman, if you like, but Joel Wharton just nursing a little bit of a calf. And boy, oh boy, hasn't that time gone quick there, Cam, because it's full time. That's full time in the reserves where it is Sandhurst. They've run out winners 7-10-52 to Golden Square 1-7-13, where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
I was just watching this game, Johnny, bits and pieces, and in the first quarter, there was no goals kicked at all in the first quarter. It took till midway through the second quarter for Sandhurst to really break Golden Square. And of course, with the few of the reserves players going up into that senior team, I thought that it might have been a little bit more one-sided than that, but it was a real slog for that first half out there.
Did you watch it close enough to suggest that it was anything to do with the game style, or because the conditions are perfect, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, I didn't really. I was obviously pretty busy with all the pre-game stuff, so I didn't really see too much, but it just seemed to be a real slog. And there was a little bit of a breeze I did notice, I thought, out there going towards the, was it the Wade Street end of the ground down this end on the left-hand side?
City end and Wade Street to the right. But yeah, no, beautiful Wade Street's the other way, Don, isn't it? Maple Street.
That's Maple, that end.
Which is right to your dial, to the Castlemaine end, the southern end. We're on radio, remember?
Anything to get Castlemaine in there.
Don goes, it's that end.
Now, it's perfect, but you're right, it is absolutely perfect conditions for footy. I mean, if you're a footy player and you wake up on a day like this, I tell you what, you wouldn't want to be anywhere else other than out there playing. You're
stealing my sheets there, Cam. A bit of on-air production. Now, Don Moran, both sides are out on the ground at the moment. tell me what you think's going to happen this afternoon.
Sandhurst got to be favourites, don't they? Their inclusions of, we mentioned Hamish Hosking out, but Connor Sexton coming as well. He's a big unit now. Played most of his footy in the reserves last year, but with Hamish Hosking leaving, he's had plenty of opportunity to come back in. And I heard that question about has things changed. I'm sure they probably haven't, because
I don't think they have really, to be honest.
as much as I thought that Hamish Hosking was a absolute jet in the centre there, I thought that he always left his three midfielders standing behind him after he grabbed the ball out of the air and kicked it forward. So Connor will give them a lot more ball use, I think, rather than him just slapping it on his foot forward that he did last year. So, yeah, I'm not going to write Golden Square off, but geez, Tardrew for Fergus Green, some of those inclusion, Max set up front. You got Bryce Curnow being named as a interchange every week, and whether he's playing that, because I haven't seen him play this year. But they're a quality side across the ground. Gizzy pushed them. So, but that was at the QEO, so it'll be interesting to see when that flips about.
There's no other games today in the Bendigo Football Netball League, but in Loddon Valley, we'll keep you up to date with scores as they come to date. Who have we got playing today, Cam? It's round number
seven in the Loddon Valley Footy League, so 1 week ahead of the Bendigo. Maiden Gully YCW up against Morong Midiamo. They will play Bears Lagoon Serpentine, Calabar United versus Inglewood, and Pyramid Hill versus Newbridge. Any games are standing out for you there, Johnny?
Wow, not really, Cam.
No, you'd think that the Loddon Valley, most of those results would be pretty stock standard out there at the moment.
I don't mean to be flippant, but we have got a lot of listeners out there, and we will bring those scores in the Maryborough Castlemaine District Football League as well. Yeah,
round 7 as well for there. So Trentham up against Campbell's Creek, Talbot up against Harcourt, Lexton and Newstead. Should be a good game, that one, actually. Avoca versus Navarre, also two sides that will be battling, thinking they're a good chance to win that one. Denali, they're up against Natty Bialawa, and the Maryborough Giants, on the back of their first win in club's history last week, will play Carisbrook.
Yeah, so we'll keep you updated with those scores. And here at Wade Street, it's going to be a big ask with Fergus Green this afternoon, Don. Not sure, I just went through the list. I don't think you can play Jonathan Coe on him. I don't think he's that player. Whether or not they decide Freckleton, I know he's played in the ruck a little bit, but it's probably going to be more cut-off supply rather than put somebody on him directly, because I don't think that works with a player of Fergus Green's ilk, the way he's been slamming out of the goal square.
Yeah, with Zach Shelton out today, it's left probably a bit of a hole, and we heard Zach say that he would have enjoyed the contest today. I think the game will rely around how much pressure the midfielders from Golden Square can put on Sandhurst midfield to be able to just put a little bit of heat on the ball so he doesn't get that silver service coming off the boot, because he's really going to be quite difficult to stop today and negate.
And Ricky Monty was named. I assume that he's going to play in the Essendon VFL.
Yes, he is.
So if there were going to be any chance to make it close, that probably tips it back further in the way of Sandhurst, doesn't it? Yeah,
well, Noah Walsh out. To me, that would have been a really good contest. They both work really, really hard off the footy and a really good, dynamic around the ball and great clearance players, but they also get outside. So I think that... that's probably nullified both those roles today. So, I'd be interesting to see how the mids go. Yeah. But if Golden Square can bring that pressure around the mids and shut that service off to Sandhurst's forwards, we're probably up for a good game.
I did notice this morning Essendon VFL posted that Ricky Monting was playing for that side, so he gets an opportunity at the MCG today in the pre-game to the Dreamtime game tonight. Round 8 of the Heathcote District Footing. What an exciting league this has been. It's LBU, Lockington against North Bendigo, Mount Pleasant taking on Elmore Huntley. They're up against Leachville Gumbau, and White Hills up against Heathcote. That promises to be a mouth-watering matchup, that one, Johnny.
It does, where the toss has just been undertaken here, and Tardrew wins the toss, and he'll kick to the Bendigo City end in absolutely perfect conditions where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. There's a little bit of a breeze. The flags are fluttering a little bit there. That's a nice word, isn't it, Cam? But the conditions of the ground looks superb out in the middle. Umpires for today's game, Cam. I believe we're missing one. We did have 3 on our books, and one's gone. I think he's gone bush. He's gone up north. He was pulled out just at the last moment.
Yeah, so we did have 3, but now we're down to 2, and it's a young umpire as well, David Carter, son of Gavin Carter as well, who's a well-known umpire across the league. So good opportunity for him, and Marcus Osborne will be the other central umpire. And Wayne Ford, who's goal umpiring, asked me to give him a shout-out as well. So good luck waving the flags to Wayne Ford.
Now, I think this game is going to go the way of Sandhurst. I'm tipping Sandhurst by 6 goals, Don.
That much of a margin?
I think so. And I'm actually being conservative. I fear. I hope I'm wrong, Don.
Yeah, I think it'll be convincing. But yeah,
I did say cricket score last time that, remember South Bendigo and Sandhurst, and that eventuated in the first 5 minutes. But no, might be a lot closer than people think. But what are you going with? Give us a margin.
Tough, probably fairly similar. It's like anything, sit on the fence. But yeah, I think that it'll all come down to the service of the forwards and how they can shut Sandhurst's forwards down. So, but up front, Golden Square have got plenty of opportunities to score. It'll be interesting whether Tom Stross plays forward today. He's a lively like, and having in. Joel Brett will be up front as well, so it'll be.
No, he won't.
He's not going to play up front.
Joel Brett.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, wrong Joel.
Wrong Joel.
Joel Hunter. Your long lost one. Who am I looking for here? We're talking about him off air. I'm trying to find his name. I'm on fire here.
Oh, Joel Brett.
Kai Daniels. He might give him a bit of a handful just in regards to...
Well, it sounds like Joel Brett, doesn't it?
Yeah, very, very similar.
I tell you what, you won't miss Kai Daniels, though, with those bright pink boots
I don't
he's
know
got
what
going
I was thinking.
Just him and Jack Stewart in that forward line.
What do you reckon, Cam?
I'm just more worried about how bright those boots of Kai Daniels are. What do you think of those?
Well, it's usually good when they've got all different coloured blue boots, but most of the Golden Square ones have got blue on, so... that's...
Can't tell where the socks start and the boots finish. Or on terms of the margin...
A little bit of onset dementia on my behalf, I think. Going back to the past.
Yeah.
They'd love to have Joel Brett in that forward line nowadays still, I imagine.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with you boys either, Johnny. I think Sandhurst will win this game relatively comfortably, and I'd be saying around about that 7 or 8 goal margin as well.
Just about to get round 6, the completion of round 6 underway, where it is the Ron Best Memorial Cup. It is Golden Square at home against Sandhurst, where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Here's Cam Power, the powerhouse.
Umpire Marcus Osborne holds the ball up, and we're underway. Rayner got first hands to it. Rosengreen in the midfield up against Tarju. Ball spills to ground. Tarju fires out the handball wide. Harrison free. Sends it towards the grandstand side. In the hands of Palprat. A little bit of a risky handball back in board. Rosengreen almost called him Morecambe there, John, seeing that number 16.
Oh, well, we may as well get them all in there, Don.
So seeing the number 16 float around in there. And we'll get a ball up pretty much right in
Geary
front of our
out there
broadcast
too,
position.
Yeah, Jack Geary's playing as well. As they'll go up in the ruck, it'll be Sexton who taps it inboard. Turnover. Rosengreen gets on the end of one for the Dogs. Right in front of us, broadcast side, in front of the wing. Handball was eaten, Macy Easton. He went towards the boundary line, looked for Trelfall, couldn't find him. In fact, he might have got one for too high.
Trelfall was caught high.
Trelfall, centre wing, on the boundary line. Kicks it long, dumps it, looks for Burke. Burke slides on his knees and marks it across half forward. Hard up against the line. Now who go into the hot spot? You'll set themselves. Daniels is the target. He got caught underneath the football. Probably didn't use his body. Kept his feet. We're only 25 out from goal. Golden Square in attack the Dogs. And it spills to the forward pocket and we'll have a stoppage. It'll be a ball up. And we'll throw it up. So it is no score on the board. We've only gone a couple of minutes here. Opening term, local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
So deep in attack for the Dogs, looking for the first score of the game. Comes out, Coghlan was there. And ball might have gone over the boundary line. Or free kick's being plucked out. It'll go the way of the Dragons. They'll switch to the far side.
So Dragons with a footy. Long ball. Connick is the target for the Dragons. Probably got one too high. He's given a free kick. He played on. He handballs it there to Alex Wharton. Alex Wharton by hand. They're sharing around nicely. He got the old 1-2 and got it back. He kicks it up onto the wing and he hits Wilkinson. This is Matty Wilkinson. Inside forward 50. Curnow playing up forward. Couldn't get it. Good defensive punch, Dogs. Palprat handballs it. They're on a series of handballs. On the end of it is Connick. Connick for the Dragons will go goalward to the town end and puts through the first of the afternoon for the Dragons in the Ron Best Memorial Cup. They have one on the board, 1 goal straight, 6 Golden Square. Yet to score sponsor, Parsons Towing in Castlemaine, where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yeah, we're saying 2 inside 50s for Golden Square, and as soon as Sandhurst hit their first, they score straight away. So hopefully it won't be one of those days where every time they go inside forward 50, they put one on the board.
He's a dangerous forward line with plenty of options down in that forward line. Back in the middle again. Sexton goes up against Rayner. One forward for the Dragons. It's Stagg battling in. High ball inside forward 50. Good defensive mark taken by John Coe. Oh, Coe's kick. It was intended for Stewart, but it was an absolute grubber. Might work out okay. Strosh is there. Handball went into the middle. Comes out to Rosengreen. Back to Stewart. They've worked it out okay. Nice kick from Stewart. Finds the pass of Burke. So Burke's got it. 70 out from home. Hard up against the boundary. Grandstand side. His kick's a little bit of a wasteful one inside forward 50. Intercept mark taken for the Dragons. And they will clear it out of defence. It's in the hands of Caleb Connick, who's doing it at both ends at the moment.
Doing well to Matthew Campbell. Dragons with possession. Kicks it to the wing. They'll set themselves. That whistle for the netball is going to get on our nerves, I reckon, because it's coming through the effects, Mike, every time it blows. Geez, Coughlin. Good, strong, hard work. Umpire let it go. Alex Wharton sharing it around. On the end of one now is Coughlin. Coughlin, that's James Coughlin, goes to Polpratt on half forward. He's on the boundary line. Inside forward 50, a mark by Fergus Green. He's got a player breaking in, Jake McLean. He absolutely butchered that football. A player like that was a surprise. And it is Burke who picked it up for the Dogs and kicked it wide and kicked it out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, a couple of skills by foot for both teams, but Sandhurst will bring the ball quickly back into play through Darcy Mills. Mills' kick's nice. It finds its way onto the chest of Matty Wilkinson, who's 55 metres out from home. He'd take his best effort from here if he was to go back and kick this one, but he looks like he's going to fancy himself. Almost in line with the left-hand goalpost. Wilkinson comes in. Right on the paint of 50 when he releases the ball. It's going to go right to the line, and it is punched through for a minor score. So the Dragons get their second score of the game. It is 1-1-7, Golden Square yet to score. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Score sponsor JB Restumping.
Trelfel, kick it in short from fullback for the Dogs, finds Humphrey. Humphrey in the back pocket for the Dogs. Short pass forward to Eaton, who receives. Still in the defensive zone, looking to bring it down broadcast side. Eaton now, 50-metre ball to the wing. Kicks it to a pack. Jaden Burke got his hands on the footy. Spills to the back. They're away and they're out here. Rosengren now. One bounce. Runs to half forward. Two bounce. He's on 50. He'll have a flying shot at goal. He stabbed at it and it was an awkward-looking kick. Maybe I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Was it attempted a pass or not, Don, to Daniels?
I think he had a go at it. I would have liked to have seen Daniels come back at the ball rather than just keep running away from it. Would have been nice to see. Might have been a different result.
So, did it go out of bounds on the full, did it? Or
No, I don't think so. But
well, Sandhurst have tried to kick the ball across and Wharton's ended up with it on the far side. It's coming back and it's going to be a free kick to the Dragons. Not sure what the free kick was for. Might maybe hit the point post, maybe? Not sure on the full, but
it bounced inside.
Anyway, ball plays on. Sandhurst have got it far wing position here, right up against the pool pocket. That's Connick, and Connick's kick's turned over by Stewart. Stewart wheels, thought about kicking. Handballs onto the ground, picks up his own ball so he can avoid a tackle. Sends it in towards Daniels. Good defence there for the Dragons from Campbell, and it's managed to be pushed through for a minor score. Hot footy early, one behind, playing 1-1-7. And we've played 7 minutes of this contest here at Wade Street Oval. Round 6, Ron Best Memorial Cup, Sandhurst Golden Square. Golden Square have gone back into the middle.
There's $1.
Sandhurst will clear it. Now they're out here if they can get it. Freckleton's going to have to chase hard for Golden Square. In fact, it's Pellegrino who's up against Green. Managed to fight hard well. Burke went in for the Dogs. Humphreys there. Going through for the Dragons was Hood, not able to take any clean possession. And we'll get a ball up. And are you with us, Johnny?
Oh, I'm with you, Cam. So is the crowd. Flying start here, Don. We can only get better from here.
Well, I could hear you, but
Room for
others couldn't, Johnny.
improvement. As the ball is thrown in, this was an awkward-looking throw. Sexton gets his hands on the footy. Intercepted by the Dogs by Eaton, getting his hands on the footy. Carraher nearly has his helmet ripped off. Surely that's a free kick. Or did he say he ducked into it? I don't know, but boy, oh boy. It's the Dragons, though. Emerging with the football on the end of a handball is Keating, goes goalward, minor score. So they'll go to 1-2-8. The Dragons, one behind Golden Square. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. We've gone 7.5 opening term.
Yeah, I think you're right. The umpire did give that signal, didn't he?
The Jack Ginnivan's scenario, yeah?
Yes.
So Golden Square bring it in. They work it down the scoreboard wing. Gee, Jack Stewart's been busy early. He's on the end of this one.
I don't care what they say, Don. That's a free kick.
Another one of those players
Surely.
in the bright pink boots.
Well, how
Stewart.
they didn't lose his feet? Like, could have slipped and then, yeah.
They're lobster, Cam.
He chips to Trelful.
The colour I'm talking about.
Trelful to Coe, and they're just holding possession. Coe's kick's a little bit dangerous, but Freckleton makes it look okay. So Freckleton's got it in defence for the Dogs. Again, they're going to switch. This is really good setup from Golden Square, and they've forced the turnover. Kerno managed to get in front of Trelful, knock it to ground. Kerno went through. Trelful had some assistance, and they're able to work it out of there, the Dogs.
So it'll be Ireland. It's a one-on-one contest, but good strong mark. Might have been Burke on the outer side. Now he plays on a half back. He goes down the long looking for Daniels. Good punch defensively by Campbell. I like his game, but Daniels ended up with the footy in the end anyway. Then he goes inside to the forward pocket. He finds Stewart running onto the footy. They take it goalward. They're only 5 metres out from goal. It's Tardru needs to kill it, and does. And that was a good bit of play. So it's 8 playing 2. That's 8 behinds playing 2. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
So the Dragons work it back, and now they've managed to get it into the middle of the ground. In the hands of Keating. Keating's kick's a risky one through the middle, but it might work out okay. It was picked up cleanly by the Dragons there. That was Lockie Wright. His handball was a little bit astray, so Hurd gets it, fires it high inside forward 50 for the Dogs, but there's no one home for Golden Square, and the intercept mark will be taken by Lockie Hood.
Short pass Tardru. The skipper receives. Short pass again Sexton. So he's across half back. Broadcast side again. Then he goes corridor, inboard, back inside the defensive arc. Tardru now. Plays on quickly. He'll kick it to the wing. They'll set themselves. Maxted, maybe a little push. Umpire let him get away with it. He turns and looks to go now. Long ball by Maxted. 1-on-1. Green's the target. Keeps his feet. He gave a little push, did he? Don't know if it was there, Don, but Xavier Carter gets one for the Dogs.
I think it was. He did nudge him under the ball, so good positioning.
So Carter in one long sleeve kicks to the other player in long sleeves, which is Trelful. Now they clear it up towards the wing here, right underneath the scoreboard where the boundary line wins out. We'll get it thrown in. Early stages of this one. It's been a hot footy though.
Yeah, you're right. Jack Stewart's in everything at the moment, isn't he?
Like salt and pepper.
Just feels to me that Golden Square might just lack not having a key
MSG.
target in that forward line. Going up, Rayner, he won it down, battled in hard. Stagg went through, gave it to Tardru. Tardru to Hood. Hood gets it wide. Now the Dragons can go inside forward 50. It's Freckleton, who kind of kicked it while he was laying on the ground, almost Jackie Chan style. Bounces into the middle. Tardru, he was lurking. Firing through for Golden Square, unable to get any type of clean possession. And we'll get a ball up. They're certainly hard at the footy, this Golden Square side. That was Barrett in there battling hard.
They'll go in the ruck. Used his body well then was Maxted. Handballs it forward in the direction of Carraher at his ankles. Oh, nice little give. It was sharp to Tardru. Probably too severe, but Tardru was good enough. He picked it up and gave it to Jake McLean. 40 out. Goes around the body. Didn't look. It was an awkward ball. Good strong tackling in the forward zone by the Dragons through Perez, who came into the side this afternoon. They'll share it around now. Kerno gets on the end of one and puts it on the left boot and slams it home for their second. They worked hard there, the Dragons, but they got another one on the board. 2-2-14. The Dogs are 2 behind. We've gone an 11 and a half minutes opening term score. Sponsored JB Re-Stumping. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
It was an ugly inside 50 kick from Jake McLean, wasn't it? But the forward pressure was terrific. The tackle, the turnover, and Bryce looked a bit awkward on the left, but it doesn't matter, does it, how it looks? It went through, and it's 6 points to Sandhurst.
So we'll go back in the middle. Maxted gone into the ruck for the Dragons. Strosh got it, fed the handball out. Now it comes to Humphrey, who gets it wide to Rosengreen. Sidesteps one way, gets onto his right, sends it down in the direction of Stewart. Got a little bit of an ordinary bounce. Sandhurst have got the numbers there at the bounce is Keating. They clear a kick down the line. It's a 3-on-1 situation, but the ball took a bit of an ordinary bounce, which allowed Trelful to come through, who is collared. And he's going to receive a free kick for a high tackle. He can come short to Rosengreen, or he can go a little bit longer towards James, but it's turned over. It's with Darcy Mills. Quickly plays on, gets it to Kerno. Kerno rides a bump as he takes the mark, sends the kick in the green direction. That is an absolute beautiful pass. Fergus Green on the lead. Kerno hit him perfectly, and he'll line up for goal. 25 metres out, not too much of an angle. Wasn't that a beautiful kick from Bryce Kerno?
It was. You got to love the work of Darcy Mill coming off half back to intercept that ball.
He hit that like a train, didn't
Yeah, and in between two Golden Square players, and then we managed to hit Bryce, and there's that silver service right now, and Ferguson's got a shot on goal.
So 15 metres in from the boundary, inside the netball forward pocket. Green comes in. It starts left, it stays left, and it's another minor score. So 2-3-15 the Dragons. 2 behinds are the Bulldogs. 13 minutes gone in the opening quarter. Look Footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Score sponsor, Parsons Towing, Castlemaine.
So the Dogs will bring it in through Trelfall. Oh, he's kicked it out. Oh, I thought it's gone out of bounds on the full to James. Brody James, defensive arc of 50. Just in front of the netball court. Kicks it on the left. To the wing. Stroshes the target. Set themselves. And I reckon he's claimed a juggling mark. Might have come off Maxted's hand, but they're pretty much a mark every day of the week. Oh, they had a collision.
With the runner.
With the runner, it was Hood for the Dragons. It allowed the release of the ball for the Dogs through Monty. This is Lachlan Monty. He'll go to the top of the goal square. Front and centre, Maxted did well. Campbell rather for the Dragons. Spreads it wide and ends up with Ireland.
So Ireland then clears to Alex Wharton. Wharton can get and go. He does, but his kick will be topped off by Kai Daniels. Couldn't quite hold the mark, but it spills over the boundary line for a boundary throw in. And if an opposition runner blocks the player, shouldn't that be a free kick, Doc?
Oh, it was an accident, wasn't it?
The runner can't get in the way of the player, though.
Yeah, but I had my eyes on the ball, but sometimes SH12 happens.
Solid accident.
Can he spell or not?
In the middle, Square will win the ball. They'll send it inside forward 50. It's a 3-on-1 situation down there. Jaden Burke's got all the work to do. Battling hard will be Campbell, and Campbell was happy to see it across the boundary. Burke pleads his case for a insufficient intent free kick, which you're not going to see any of them paid, I wouldn't imagine, in the Bendigo Footy League. Maybe if he was in the AFL, it might have been a consideration, though.
They're pretty rare, aren't they? They don't often pay them.
No, but that is a free kick, what you talked about with the runner, but I don't think on that occasion.
Ball thrown in inside. Carraher goes through and puts his head over the footy, and he's claimed high, will receive a free kick in the last line of defence for the Dragons.
No, Mike Lowther in the timekeeper's box. I'm not sure I'm happy with that. He's not with us today?
That's a very good question.
Well, as we go, he is one of ours, Mike Lowther, of course he is. As we go with the footy, it ends up with Hood. I don't think he knows what we're talking about, does he? He might have the radio going, he might. As the ball goes wide, out of side. Keating.
I'm sure Mike would have the radio going.
Yeah, of course he would. Keating now. Long, out of side. Sexton is the target. Come off hands, Pellegrino getting involved. Also offering assistance is Thomas. It's a long kick now. It'll go to the wing. They'll set themselves front and centre. Good roving shark by Westcott. Sends it forward looking for Burke. And across half forward, they'll see it out. Doing a good job down there, Matthew Campbell.
Yeah, he's right there. It wasn't part of the side last year. As far as I'm aware, John, with my earlier faux pas, naming Joel Brett as a key forward. But yeah, he's doing a really, really good job, and I think at the moment is that he's nullifying everything that's coming in.
They're thrown in 60 from home in front of an array of Golden Square flags, which sit pretty limp on that far side of the ground. They'll clear the kick out of there, the Dragons. It's hard up against the boundary, and happy to see it across the boundary line is Oscar Perez will get it thrown in. Pull side.
In fairness, he is a power forward, though. You did get that part right.
Yeah.
He's just not here.
No.
So Daniels has now gone into the ruck for Golden Square. Goes up against Sexton. Might have been a dead heat. Ball hits the ground. Carraher tried to go through. Daniels did go through. Picked up the footy, but he was tackled as soon as he picked up the ball. We'll have a ball up 10 metres closer to the goal than where the last ball up was, Johnny.
Probably not dominating as much as I thought, Sandhurst. They're in this game, Golden Square. They just probably need to hit the scoreboard just to put a bit of that scoreboard pressure on. It's in their forward zone. So let's see if they can do something.
Attack up in the forward line, though.
But it's going to be a free kick. They have had a lot of the footy. It'll go to Keating of the Dragons in his back half. Keating short pass. You go corridor to Paul Pratt. Handball to a running Alex Wharton. Handball over the top to Jake McLean. Through the middle they come now. It'll be free. He goes long into the goal square. It's 2-on-1. His target was green. He was caught deep. In fact, he was too deep and he just plucked it. I said, yes, he plucked it. And he'll have a shot at goal 40 out and probably will slot this one, I reckon, Don Moran. But that just goes to the competitive edge he's got down there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was interesting you spoke about the flags, and I was looking at the flags. They're going the other way, and that ball carried, didn't it? Like he was 2v1, and he had Fergus Green was back shoulder, and he still managed to reach over the top and mark it. So we get a good spot to see his kick from here, from the edge of the 50.
Albeit he marked it. I don't like that they're kicking 2-on-1. Have you noticed that? They've done it a couple of times as he misses again. So
Two misses.
failed to make them pay on a couple of occasions, Don. Yes, you're right. So 2 behind the square. Sandhurst 2-4-16, 18 gone. Opening term, local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
It looks like Xavier Carter's got the match up on Fergus Green, which is a good opportunity for the young player out there. But John Coe's floated across to make it a 2-on-1 on a couple of occasions as the square worked the ball up the wing. Scoreboard side, ball spills out and holding the ball is played. So it's going to be a free kick for the Dragons. They'll look to go inside forward 50. And the kick is going to be chopped off and an easy intercept mark there for John Coe, who's been busy in the back line for Golden Square. It looks like he's playing loose. He's going to float across and be an option. His kick was all right, but his teammate dropped the ball. Hood got it for the Dragons. His kick was smothered, then went back through trying to battle. Comes out to Staggs. Staggs found himself in some space. 35 metres out. Goes goalward. Hits the point post. And that one will be out of bounds on the full. And we'll get a free kick to the Dogs on the last line of defence in the netball side pocket.
15-point margin, Dragons. They lead this one. Carter. Dogs. Free kick. Dangerous kick. Goes corridor. It's okay. With Eaton. Eaton now plays on here. Look to send it to the Maroney wing. Shrugs a tackle. Handballs forward. That's okay to Thomas. They're sharing it around. Over-possessing a little bit. They've got numbers, however. Westcott. That was okay. Trelful receives a handball. Then gets tackled. They'll cause a turnover here if they're not careful. They've got numbers, though. The Dogs did well, apart from the fact that it's all tied up. And across right half forward, it'll be ball up near the boundary line on the Maroney wing. 14-point margin. The Dogs trail, and we're in red time of this opening term.
Young umpire Carter throws the ball up. Going to be one down. Trying to go through there was Trelful. Couldn't quite take the possession, but he's been quite busy early, Jack Trelful. Boundary umpire will throw the ball in. About 80 out from home. If you're going to the left of your radio dial, which is the end the Dragons are attacking to. Dragons try and win the clearance. Handball was turned over. It's taken by Holt. But it spills out. Now the Dragons get some space through Tarju. Tarju's kick bounced nicely in front of Fergus Green. Green on the right, snaps around his body and kicks the goal. A nice pick up from Fergus Green. 30 out. Nice snap, puts it through. Dragons have got 3 and they just skip out to a 20-point lead. Doesn't really feel like they're 20 points in front at the moment, but they're playing some good footy. 3-4-22, Golden Square, 2 behinds. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Score sponsor is Bendigo City Framers.
Yeah, as you mentioned, 22 points. It could be a bit more than that. Fergus Green has missed 2 set shots that you would think that a player of his quality would nail those. So we're back to the centre.
With Connor Sexton doing the ruck work. Up they'll go in the ruck. He was against Rayner. Just forward of centre now. Coughlin picks it up for the Dragons. Turnover. Hurd. He received, then he gave it to Strosh. Strosh of the Dogs will put it to the outer side. Nice pickup was Westcott. They've got the numbers here. They'll send it inside forward 50 here, the Dogs. It's a long ball. Keating is the target. They'll set themselves at the back. In fact, it was Stewart, rather. And the kick goes to Connick, and Connick takes a chest mark. Quarter time out at White Hills, thanks to Paul Wicks. White Hills lead 4-4 to Heathcote, 1-2 in the Heathcote District Football Netball League.
There was a big fly there over the back, which was from Maxted, but it didn't come down. It spills forward for the Dragons. They've worked it up to about 70 from home. Going through is good tackling pressure there. It was Stagg who was taken across the boundary line. He might have been taken across the... No, it's going to be a throw in, just picking the ball up for the umpire. I thought he was rushing off to get himself a free kick then. Umpire will throw the ball back in. Rayner and Sexton, which has been a good battle so far. Sexton won that one down, but the Dogs have got it. That was Eaton. Eaton fed off the handball to Holt, and Holt's handball was to a teammate who just put a high kick down the line. It's going to be intercepted for the Dragons in the hands of Connick. Having a good season is Caleb Connick.
He'll go inside forward 50. He's got a lead on. That was by Matty Wilkinson. Couldn't quite grab it. Trying to grab the football for the Dogs will be Hurd. He's tied up. And 40 inside forward 50 for the Dragons. We've got a stoppage. Ball up. Outer side. Maroney wing it is. Ball spills into the path of Eaton. He's done pretty well as well. Dogs now will release off half back through Westcott. Westcott will go down the line. There's a mark It might have been James. James goes inside. Well, it's not inside forward 50 as yet, but it ends up with Burke. Burke 70 out from home. He'll go. He'll hit it to the hot spot. Up they'll go. They'll set themselves. Ball spills to the back of the pack, and Jake McLean mops up and releases for the Dragons.
Yeah, McLean's kick might work okay for Carraher. Got an ordinary bounce, but he managed to take it cleanly. Feed it to the runner, Tarju. Tarju's kick's a beauty, sending it down to Stagg. Stagg kept his feet when Coe fell over. He results. He wheels in from 30, goes goalward and misses. Well, the importance of keeping your feet there resulted in a pretty set shot, standard shot that you would reckon, that he would go back and kick 9 times out of 10. 3-5-23 now, the Dragons, 2 behinds, Golden Square. 21-point margin score, sponsor, Bendigo City Framers.
A little bit dangerous signs forming here for the Dogs, I just sense, as they kick it in from full back in the direction of Rayner. Off hands, out of bounds, ball up across half forward, Dragons in attack. Yeah, it's just something about it, isn't there,
Just
Don?
really lacking a key target down in the forward line, I feel.
Yeah, well, Jaden Burke's playing really, really high, which gives him nothing deep. So at this point, we've had quite a number of inside 50s, but there's just no one at the other end.
So Sexton won it. Now they go through. Perez is in there. Managed to spill out. Strosh. Got it wide in the direction of Hurd. Hurd picked it up, then tried to fend off the tackle. Did well. Got it to Stewart. Stewart's taken, but managed to get the kick away as he was kind of rotated there from Wharton. But the kick will be turned over. Dragons will work it through the middle through McLean. McLean bounces one here. Maxted will have to be clean. He is. One-handed pick up from Maxted. Wheels around onto the left. Was dealt with after he kicked the ball. He's going to get a downfield free kick. And, it was a bump there. I think it might have been Jack Sampson, the late inclusion on Maxted, and it's resulted in a downfield. I think it was definitely there. It was after he got rid of the ball, and now it results in a little bit of a fracas. You watch the fight, and I'll watch the ball as Lockie writes up for a goal, Don. He'll line up 40 metres out. Not too much of an angle to deal with. But, geez, wasn't that a nice pick-up? One-handed scoop from Maxted.
Yeah, nice little turnaround as well, and hits Lockie right up. Obviously downfield. We'll see. Yeah, Lockie's normally a really nice kick, so this should go through. Wrap him up, John, and that's what happens to you.
Wow, it's an absolute helicopter of a kick, and I think out of the 5 behinds they've now kicked, 6 of the behinds they've now kicked, 5 of them have gone through that left-hand side. So minus score to Lockie Wright. The Dragons leading this one by 22 points.
Humphrey will kick it in for the Dogs. So they need to hit the scoreboard, the Dogs. And as I said, it's just looking a bit dangerous as Humphrey received it back from the kick. Just steps around. Now we kick it long for the Dogs. Beyond 50, broadcast side. Spills to the back of the pack. Sharking the footy there was Stewart. Kicked it to the wing looking for Burke. Comes off hands. Him and Ruff just roughing it up a little bit. Pardon the pun. As we'll have a ball in it. It's a 22-point margin, Dragons lead.
Right in front of our broadcast position. You couldn't ask for a better spot to call the footy from here. It'll be thrown in. Well, both ruckmen went over the head, so Stagg jumped out of the way so he didn't touch it before it bounced, and now they'll battle through. Connick's in there. Will work hard. Caleb Connick, clean pick up below his legs, will be tackled as he kicked. Tarju goes up, ball one, he went about 2 metres, and he's tackled as soon as he received the ball from Dylan Hurd, ball up.
Yeah, when you look forward, Kai Daniels is playing high as well, so I'm not sure who they've put deep. It looks like Jordan.
Rosengreen, but Rosengreen have been good battling through the middle. Eaton couldn't take clean possession. Worked out to Tarju, who's been in everything. Feeds the handball to Hood. Hood's kick to Curnow. Curnow gives it back to Hood. Then he has to step around Freckleton on the mark. Does it well. Sends it in the direction of the forward 50, but the kick just didn't quite carry. Golden Square will have the numbers. They should be able to work this one out. Pellegrino. Ooh, handball wasn't great. Ball spills to the ground, and we'll have a ball up deep inside the forward pocket, which is the netball side forward pocket here at Wade Street Oval. We are approaching quarter time. It's the Dragons leading this one by 22 points. Score sponsor is Jason Westcott Builder.
Up they'll go in the ruck now. Spills towards the boundary line. And it goes over it. As Paul Pratt, he might have kicked a goal, but it's not going to count.
Miracle.
I reckon he did. It's not going to count.
I think that's gone through.
It has. One of the greatest non-goals of the season, that was. Probably of his career, I dare say, Don. 'Cause he's not a real goal kicker, is he?
No, he's not the best-looking kick, but...
He went around the body, and sadly for him, he was out of bounds, but they let him get away with it in the AFL, so why don't they let him get away with it here?
It wasn't Jack Higgins.
Now it's a stoppage as they all crowded around the footy. Not far out from goal for the Dragons. They're pushing for another one. Hands on the footy, Dogs, Harrison Burke, whistle. free kick will go to the way of the Dogs, so they'll be able to relieve some pressure. And Tom Strosh has got the free kick at the quarter-time siren, where it is Golden Square trailing 2 behinds to 3-6-24 Sandhurst. Let's go around the grounds and check some quarter-time scores coming through. Huntley, they trail 2-1 to Gunbower, Leachville Gunbower 3-2. And the only other score we've got coming through at the moment, we'll keep our eye on the MCD for as well. White Hills 4-4, they lead Heathcote 1-2. And quarter time here at Wade Street in the completion of round 6 today. It is the Ron Best Memorial. It is the Dogs, 2 behinds. They trail the Dragons 3-6-24, where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
It's everybody's favourite time of the week. It's the Bendigo Football Netball League, Round 5, Top 5. And at number 1, it's Jack Lefroy from Kangaroo Flat. A great snap out of the pack and a smart finish. Number 2, it's Kyle Simons from Kangaroo Flat. In the right place at the right time. Ball fell in his lap and he finishes smartly. Number 3, it's Ryan Burke from Gisborne here. Collects the ball, then goes around the body, but got poleaxed. But lucky it went through for a goal. Number 4, it's Lachlan Gill from Strathfield Say. Smothered kick there, got it. I had to think quick and put it through the sticks. Number 5, it's Riley Wilson from Strathfield Say. Collected it, turned, and then he just put an absolute mongrel towards goals, scoring that one.
Station for live local footy. Only one local station supporting live community sport across central Victoria. The people out walking know, even bus drivers know. And you know, it's Bendigo's Fresh. Thanks to local food sponsor, more live Bendigo football. And now, it's time to fire up delicious Don's footy frames. They're made for the footy. Use Don, it's good.
Quarter time at Wade Street here in the Ron Best Memorial Cup, where Golden Square trail 2 behinds to Sandhurst 3-6-24, where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. John Hunter, Cam Power and Don Moran bringing you all the action. Quarter time out at White Hills. White Hills lead 4-4 to Heathcote 1-2. And quarter time, Donald, they are trailing 1-2 to Sea Lake Nandali. Who's SLNT?
Sea Lake Nandali Tigers.
Wow, it's with 3-2. Thank God you got me out of jail there, Cam. So we've also got a $100 voucher.
I want to know if it's the Donald Ducks.
The $100 voucher from our sponsors, Bendigo City Framers. $100 we'll be awarding towards a framed article of your choice. Don Moran, who is in contention so far from You Were Looking at Golden Square, is that correct? Do I get that right?
No, that's 2 weeks in a
Sandhurst.
row now. I was having a look at Sandhurst, but that's okay.
No, you were having a look at Sandhurst. Yeah, give me Sandhurst.
Yeah, correct.
Well, I didn't want to give you Golden Square because you might call Joel Brett, who's not playing.
That's why you moved me off it. Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm with you on that. Yeah, just back to that little strong term that you used a moment ago, introducing the footy. Donald, I turned around and thought my mum was in the room.
Oh, no.
Haven't heard that for a long, long time.
Did I say Donald? Did
Yeah, you went hard with that, and then you had a pause, and I looked around thinking, "Where's Mum?"
I was going to give
What's
you a rap
going on?
over the
Yeah,
knuckles.
yeah. I thought I was in all sorts
Is
of
it
trouble.
born Donald? On the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
floor?
And I only hear it from my mum when I'm
that's
in a bit of
fair enough.
strife. But yeah, thanks for that. You actually woke me up, but that's pretty good. Best players for Sandhurst. I thought Matthew Wilkinson started really strong, as did Lockie Tardrew. Isaac Carriage has been involved a fair bit, and we've commented a couple of times. You just mentioned dropping his knees, had a couple of free kicks. And the other one that I'll mention is that I haven't mind Matthew Campbell's job down back. Everything that seems to come in, he's managed to pull up and stop. So yeah, they're probably the 4 at the minute.
Yeah, I like Matthew Campbell down back for the Dragons. Been pretty good. Caleb Connick has got his hands on the footy.
Aren't you doing Golden Square?
Oh, sorry. Yes. Oh, yeah, too many balls in the air, Donald.
Well, I know my job as goal kickers. So Fergus Green's kicked one, Caleb Connick's kicked one.
This is like a party going on
And
here.
Bryce Curno's kicked one. Just the 3 goal kickers. No one wagering a goal for Golden Square.
I give up. Let's just get into the
Yeah,
footy.
hang on, before you call this tip off, yes, sponsor today, Art Iron Smooth ballpoint pens. I've got 2 centre clearances to Golden Square and 1 to Sandhurst. Who won that one?
We'll call it a dead heat. For the second half, second quarter, here's John Hunter.
Gee whiz. Let's straighten up in the box, will we? It's a 22-point margin here. As the umpire will throw it up, it was a secondary ball up. As Hood emerges now for the Dragons, sends it on inside forward 50. Fergus Green, he probably didn't go at the footy then. I'm not sure what he was doing, but he had other things on his mind. Carter with the long sleeves on this afternoon. That's Xavier Carter. Kicks it back to Jonathan Coe. They've got a bit of work to do in the back zone here, the Dogs, haven't they? Goes long. Eaton. Actually, Eaton has probably been their best for Golden Square up back. He takes a mark and then he hits up Drew Barrett, and he'll play on along the wing.
Yeah, dropped the mark off his chest, but he was able to recover, sends it down towards Strosh, who flew at the ball. That netball whistle's thrown me off again. I was waiting to find who the free kick was for, but the Dragons have got it in the middle. Palprat feeds it off. Oh, they slipped under one tackle, and he's taken in the second tackle. Wow. I think if you break one tackle and get caught in a second one, even if you didn't have much of a prior, Darcy Mills, that should be holding the ball. But umpire didn't agree. Sexton wins it down. Stagg was lurking. Mills went through again, but he was taken by Strosh, and we'll have a ball up.
Now, all jokes aside, I looked at the Dogs, they're better players. I struggled then a bit, Don, to be honest, did you? They're not as prominent as the Dragons, are they, in that first quarter?
No. Coe's been good down back.
And Macy Eaton as well, I thought. He's been pretty good, number 6.
And Stewart. Jack Stewart's
Jack
been
Stewart.
in everything. You mentioned his lobster boots.
The lobster.
So the ball went up, and it was taken again for a secondary ball up after no clean possession. Rosengreen went through, fired the handball. Tarju went through. Rosengreen might have been held for too long in the tackle. He's going to receive the free kick. Stagg faked like he was going to pick up the ball, then said, "Nope, you can get it yourself." So Rosengreen gets it. He'll play on. He'll wheel the ball high inside forward 50. Daniels is going to fly and take the mark.
Good mark, too.
Notice the old 2-foot basketball takeoff, but he's a tall lad, and he will clunk him.
He has lurked down there and looked prominent at times, but he hasn't been able to get a hands on one, but now he has. Well, we touched on his kicking pre-game. Any predictions for this one, Don?
Yeah, a couple of he's had already that looked actually quite good, but let's see the set shot. This is his first set shot.
So Kai Daniels, 35 metres out, almost directly in front, slightly to the left. He comes in on the right, and it swings through nicely. Well, he passes his first set shot with flying colours, and the Bulldogs get the first goal of the second half. 128 Golden Square, the second quarter, I should say. And it is the Dragons who are 3-6-24. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo, thanks to our score sponsor, Dyson's Towing, Castlemaine.
I haven't stood beside him for a long, long time, but he was a tall junior, and he's probably all of 6'6", so he shoulders above Liam Island. So if they can bring the ball in quickly and get him one-on-one, I reckon he's probably a good opportunity to kick a few today.
Sexton up in the ruck there for the Dragons, but it was sharked. Dogs did well. Kick it inside forward 50 through Rosengren, who's been okay. Goes to half forward, but it'll be rebound now by Isaac Ruff of the Dragons. Sends it to half forward. Swooped on it by Eaton. Hurried handball. Shared around nicely here. The Dogs off the back half through Rosengren received. Kicks it to Stewart. Stewart marks on the wing. Then he turns and goes. Looks to come inboard. Needs to be careful. Handball it to space. No one into particular. And the closest player from a Dogs perspective and got collared was Rosengren. He had two behind him, and we'll have a ball up.
A little bit on there, isn't it?
Oh, was there? The bit going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like Hood and James were just saying hello to each other then as the ball spills forward. Wharton, who's been good for the Dragons, managed to fire down a handball. Hood, he's been everywhere at the moment. Steps his way through traffic nicely, then sends the kick down the line. Flight from Connick, couldn't quite get there. In fact, it might have been Lockie Wright. It's in the hands of James now, trying to go through with Strosh, couldn't take any clean possession. Tarju got it to Carragher, then to Curnow, then he got it over the top to the run of Wright. Wright will steam inside forward 50, kick looking for Green, wasn't great. And the Dogs should be able to work this one out. The handball from Pellegrino to Johnny Coe.
Coe will go long looking for Barrett, puts him under pressure. It'll be a turnover now. Dragons with a chance. Spills to Curnow, gives a little bit of a dance, manages to tap it to a teammate in McLean. Short pass, it goes wide. Wilkinson was the target. Inside forward 50. Dogs under pressure, doing well. Hurd, handballs to a teammate who'll bang it long. James is the target. James takes a chest mark off half back. An awkward looking ball, and he kicked it straight to Alex Wharton of the Dragons. Turnover.
Yep, Alex Wharton thought he was the man from South Australia that won the lottery then. Was all on his own and the kick landed in his lap. Chips it back across the ground. Oh, dropping the mark there was Campbell. He might have time to recover. Daniels comes through and puts on the pressure. Burke gets him, fends off, sends it goalwards and drills it. Well, Matty Campbell dropped an absolute soda, and Jaden Burke, he pounced. And he gets the goal. Nice fend off as well. So the Bulldogs get their second goal of the quarter. And they are starting to get rolling in this one. 2-2-14. Sandhurst 3-6-24. 10-point margin. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Score sponsor is JB Re-Stumping.
Look, we always talk about skill errors, but Alex Wharton's one across half back. As you said, he won the lottery there on the wing and took an easy mark, but then he just turned it over across half back, and there was a great effort from Kai Daniels with that pressure.
Dogs are in this contest, no doubt about it. A couple of little errors. Hurd, fresh airy for the Dogs, couldn't quite connect. Just juggling around with the footy. Who'll emerge? It'll be Monty. Handball, Strosh. Strosh over the top, Hurd. Dogs will go forward. Shallow inside, forward 50. Didn't look. Lachlan Monty tried to get you, didn't you there, Don? There's two of them out there.
I did.
Got to get up early in the day to get me, don't you worry. Across half forward now. You should have seen the grin on your face and that
I loved it.
dissipated very quickly. Burke, Jaden Burke now. Corridor had the eyes on the footy was
It's a
Jonathan
free
Coe.
kick deep here.
Yeah, right in the goal square.
From a forward perspective,
yes,
you're
There's
talking.
non-officiating umpires
Yes.
called it down for a free kick, and it looks like Daniels is going to line up from the goal square.
So, talk about bring the Dogs into the game. Gone from a ball that was 50-50 to Daniels basically in the goal square. City end, Daniels. Let's see what he does. Kicks his second. So the Dogs are in it. It's now 3-2-20 to 3-6-24. Early stages of this second term. Scoreboard sponsor JB Re-Stumping. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
In the first quarter, there was, I think, the stat sheet showed, John, that there was 13 inside 50s for Sandhurst to kick 3 goals, and we've seen 3 inside 50s for Golden Square, and they've now drawn it back to 3 goals apiece. Want to buy in on that?
Just waiting for my offside here. What's he? You with us, Cam?
Yeah,
or
just waiting for the umpire to receive the ball to bounce the ball back up in the middle.
was that just a dramatic pause, was it? Or you?
Well, dramatic pause because the game is well and truly alive here at Wade Street Oval. Do not go anywhere as the Dragons win the ball out of the middle at the Dogs. Dylan Hurd got it off to Burke. Rosengreen. Rosengreen sends it forward. Bouncing away in the middle. Dragons might be able to work this one out through Tarju. Sidestepping one way, then he'll fire the kick wide and find Caleb Connick.
Connick now, half-back. Peter Moroney wing. Tries to step. Oh, whatever he did then, it was awkward. I won't even try to explain it, but he gets away with it and short passes it right hard up against the wing.
That's how a praying mantis kicks a footy.
The Dragons now kick it long, half forward. They got numbers. It was Coughlin by hand. He gave it to Curnow. Curnow goes inside forward 50. They've got numbers here. Jake McLean on the end of a handball. Around the body. Talking about her awkward quick kicks. That was one of them as well, Don. Didn't even look like it really. Minor score. And that takes it to a 5-point margin. Dragons lead. Still early days in this second term.
It is. But yeah, Jake McLean's probably not the most impressive kick, and seems to slap it on his boot. He had a little bit more time, I thought.
Dogs will bring the ball back into play. A kick from Trelfel. Oh, nice kick. Oh, almost landed in the lap of Holt. But he couldn't quite take it. We'll get a throw in. 55 metres out from home. Dragons, they're probably just a little bit surprised at the moment. Golden Square played a really impressive 9 minutes. Sexton wins it down. Tarju lurking, was clean, gave it to Carraher. Then Carraher fed off the teammate to the wide runner, which was Coughlin. Coughlin's kick to Curnow is nice. Curnow marks on his chest, 45 metres out from home, almost directly in front. Not too much of an angle to work with here for Bryce Curnow. He's not going to waste any time. He'll kick it from right on the paint of 50 when he releases the ball. Sends it goalwards. Well, he celebrates it and it goes straight through. Loves the celebration, loves the goal. The Dragons move to 4-7-31. Golden Square 3-2-20. They get one against the Tide. It's an 11-point margin. 10 minutes gone. Second quarter. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
You mentioned, John, we wanted a game, and I think we've got that. So that's 3 goals to Golden Square this quarter, and now Bryce Curnow has managed to get one back. So let's see if Square can put one back on, or whether Sandhurst can apply some more pressure on the scoreboard.
And it's probably been a long time since Sandhurst have been under scoreboard pressure all season, really, apart from the fact that when they played Gisborne. But it'll be interesting to see how they respond. But they're going to get a free kick here because Rosengren jumped on the footy for the Dogs in the middle and he was collared. Free kick Tardrew. Smack bang in the centre of Wade Street. Goes looking for
Chopped arms.
Maxted. Chopped arms, you're right, Don. Right on 50, 45-degree angle. He's on the broadcast side.
I recall last year, John, we had a discussion about his run-up when he set shots. Do you recall that?
I can. He doesn't seem as long, and a little bit of a stutter as well. Will he do it this time?
Yeah.
Am I on the money with it? He goes wide, actually, which is an indication he doesn't think he's got the length in it, and barely has, because it goes wide, off hands, minor score. So we're out to a 12-point margin, 32 playing 20. 11 minutes gone, second term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Oh, they waste no time, the Dogs. They come through the middle. It's going to work out well. Stewart's got it in the middle. He sends a barrel inside forward 50 for Daniels. Will it bounce for him? And Burke, he did well. Tapped it to Daniels. Daniels dribbles it goalwards. Oh, it bounced and it just bounced the wrong way. It ends out bouncing onto the point post for out of bounds throw in. Jordan Rosengreen, who was on the 50, was ready to go and give a massive celebration if that dribbled through. But I'll tell you what, if it wasn't that some sort of tap from Burke, it almost worked into a miracle goal.
Umpire will throw it in hard up against the point post. Dogs in attack. Daniels doing the ruck work. Ireland then, will they kill it up against the line? They do. The handball went to Campbell and he stepped over the line, and it's a minor score, which takes it to 11 points. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Dragons lead.
It'll be brought back into play. Dragons will waste no time sending it down the grandstand wing. Maxted was in a 2-on-1, so he did well just to punch the ball over the boundary line. It looks like he will move into that middle role. In fact, he's going to take the ruck up against Freckleton here. So Maxted and Freckleton, two of the younger players in the Bendigo Footy League, two good young talents. Freckleton got front space, won it down. Rosengreen couldn't get it. Coughlin fed it out. Then Rosengreen went through and got it again. He sent a high ball inside forward 50. No mark taken. Spills off hands. Dragons have got numbers. They'll work it down the grandstand wing. The kick will go down in the direction of right. And we'll see it over the boundary line. We'll get it thrown in right in front of our broadcast position here. Absolutely perfect day for footy here at Wade Street Oval Golden Square, which is absolutely bathed in sunshine. Boundary umpire hurls the ball back into play. Maxted and Freckleton, neither of them got a hand on it. Hood went through for the Dragons, but he gave it straight to Rosengreen. Then he had to make the tackle to make up for his poor handball, and he did well. We'll get it balled up.
Right in front of us here, broadcast side. 11-point margin. Dragons lead. Up they go in the ruck. Freckleton grabbed it out and then kicked it. Well, he didn't really look. Alex Wharton will run onto it. Cross half back. Oh, he might be in trouble. He's smart enough to Ireland. Ireland will now spread it wide. He's got Connick running for him. James, he'll track him towards the boundary line. One-on-one contest. James did well. Tapped it, then kind of underneath, stood up, and then won possession and put it on the left. Good work, Dogs. He'll put it long, and it's just inside forward 50 via a handball. It's Barrett. Runs onto the football. He'll go to the top of the square. Good defensive punch there it was by Campbell. Doing well. Hood, Daniels, they're all getting in there involved. Might have got one too high then. It was Maxted. Hurried kick they picked up by, in fact, it was Rosengreen. There you go, calling a wrong number. As the ball goes, did that go through for a score or was it marked on the line?
On the last line of defence, and they'll clear it out. The Dragons, Keating on the far wing will step over
Rescue
the boundary
me,
line
Cam.
with it, and we'll have a ball in.
Take a deep breath and let's settle down. Good game of footy.
Very good game of footy brewing here at Wade Street Oval. If you're at home listening along, stock up the fire, grab a coffee and sit in for what should be a cracking game. Daniels took it out of the ruck, accelerates away, goes goalwards. He has it from there, has he? No, bounced across the line. That's that basketball ability, the grab and take off.
This is exciting, isn't he? He's powerful and on the ground and across the ground. He's so athletic. He's starting to cause a bit of a handful.
2 goals, 1 for Daniels, and it's the first minor for Golden Square, which isn't a rush behind Johnny.
Geez, the Dogs, they're on at the moment. Harrison Free's got the footy, however, for the Dragons. Perez received the kick. He's on his defensive arc of 50. Perez of the Dragons. Now he comes corridor. He'll send it into the middle. He's got Carraher. Good spot up. Went to play on. Umpire didn't agree. Now he does. He'll go long. Wilkinson runs onto the footy. Half forward. Dropped a mark he should have taken. Freckleton applied pressure. Did very well. They'll mop up here, the Dogs. Getting involved there was Hurd. To the back door. It was okay. He went to Carter. Carter kicked it and it's a turnover and he kicked it straight to Carraher of the Dragons.
So Carraher's got it now. Centre wing position here, right in front of the interchange bench, which Lockie Tardew sits trying to get back on the ground. Stagg's got it, 50 from home off the short pass. He'll then send it into the pocket, but it's all Golden Square back there. Weren't able to take the mark, but they should have the numbers to clear it out of there. It'll come to Carter. High kick down the line. Strosh goes back with the courage, takes the mark well above his head. He chips into the middle and finds Burke. Burke's got it, thought about wheeling and going quickly, but he has absolutely nothing ahead of him. So he's forced to slow it down, and his kick was okay. Found its way into the hands of Westcott. Westcott's handball forward. Came out to Rosengreen. Rosengreen, he just bangs it inside forward 50, and it's going to work out. Coming in from the side and taking a nice mark, 15 metres out with not too much of an angle to deal with, will result in a shot for goal. Is it Barrett down there?
Yeah, I reckon it's Barrett.
It'll be Barrett who will line up for goal. Well, he snuck in on me. I didn't see him down there. I thought it was a bit of a panic kick inside the forward 50, and he managed to come from the side and take the mark. 15 out, not too much of an angle. Bring it back to a 4-point margin. Barrett comes in on the right, stabs at it, swinging ball. He celebrated it. Goal umpire said no, not a goal. Didn't look like a goal to my eyes. Minor score. 3-5-23, playing 4-8-32. A wasted opportunity. If Golden Square are to win this game, you just think they need to take those opportunities, Don. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo's score sponsor, Jason Westcott Builder.
Yeah, I'm liking the influence of number 4, Jordan Rosengren. He's getting plenty of the footy and giving them plenty of fire around the ball. So
big body too, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's just getting his hands on it, and I think that's probably been the key so far. Is that Golden Square are back in this because they're actually getting their hands on the football. So that's been a little bit of a difference from the first quarter.
They need to convert, don't they? They get that scoreboard pressure. Harrison Free will kick it in for the Dragons. Plays on from fullback. runs his measure, sends it to the Peter Moroney wing. Long, Curnow was the target. Big punch from behind. Picked up by Coughlin. Coughlin to the Dragons. Hurried handball. It'll have resulted in a turnover. A double turnover, in fact. It ended up with Curnow. So a couple of errors. Dragons with possession. Wilkinson gave it by hand to a running Island. They're all getting involved here. Paul Pratt, he gave it there to Connick, who ran on. He'll send it long. Bouncing footy. Good defensive punch by Harrison Burke on the defensive line. Puts it through for a minor score. Good build-up, 10-point margin. 18 gone. Second term, local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Dogs will bring the ball back into play. Going to be Jack Trelful. On the right, goes down the Peter Moroney wing, which is the far side, but it's intercept Mark Connick. Inside forward 50. Good ball from Connick and a good mark taken above his head is Lockie Wright, who will line up for goal. He's got one minor to his name today, hasn't got a goal, and he'll line up 25 metres out, or 35 metres out. Slightly to the left of the goals, pull side wing, but not too much of a breeze to play with. A row of golden square flags lay pretty limp on that far side. So Lockie Wright comes in. On the right, sends it goalwards. And I think he's put it through. He has. So goal, and for all Golden Square's hard work, the Dragons have just kicked away a little bit in the last 5 minutes. 5-9-39, 16-point margin. Golden Square 3-5-23. 20 minutes gone in the second quarter as we approach half-time. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Score sponsor, Parsons Towing, Castlemaine.
There was a better effort that time from Lockie Wright. That he flushed that, whereas that the previous one was a little bit of a helicopter off the boot. So, yeah, now that's 2 in a row for Sandhurst.
Oh, it's a whistle by the boundary umpire standing on the
kick, I think.
corner. So someone's encroached. It would have to be...
I think it was Humphrey.
Humphrey. So free kick, Sexton, the ruckman for the Dragons. This could hurt if it results in a major. Inside forward 50. Wilkinson, hands on the football. 48 from goal. Right as well in there. Whistle on play. Defensively, Dogs. They'll relieve. Free kick. And it'll be a long kick off halfback.
Yeah, that kick came from Holt. Holt's kick found its way into the hands of a teammate on the far wing, which they chipped down the line. And good mark taken, and he might have got one for his trouble there. It was Westcott. Feeds off the handball to the run, which was Holt. Kick goes down the line and over the boundary line for a boundary throw in. So we'll get it thrown in almost directly underneath the scoreboard, far wing. That scoreboard reading the Dragons by 16 points in what has been a pretty good game of footy. And there's a lot more to play in this one. Rayner goes up, won it down nicely. It's taken away for Hurd. Hurd will then send it inside forward 50, but the Dragons have got numbers. Intercept mark will be Isaac Ruff.
Ruff, short pass, hit Stagg on halfback. Sharing it around nicely, free on the end of a ball. Oh, he trips over. He might get collared here. And did. Causes a turnover. Picked off by Humphrey. Humphrey now. He's got Burke. Oh, it's a fingertip, but couldn't quite get it. Probably an opportunity missed here as Ireland professionally puts it over the boundary line for the Dragons. And they'll be ruining that one too, Don, won't they?
Oh, they were asking a lot of Jaden Burke then, but he
Two
nearly got it, didn't he? He nearly took that ball.
The idea was there.
It was Steve Smith in the slips.
Dogs in attack. Up they go in the ruck. Rayner doing the ruck work. 35 out. They'll dive in after it. Thomas did well for the Dogs. Stoppage, ball up. Dogs in attack. They trail by 16. And we're into time on in this second term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
So throw in. Going through free. Unable to take any clean possession. Ball spills to ground. Mass pack of players around this one. And umpire letting him go, eventually crosses his arms and says, I'll ball it up inside the forward pocket. Netball side here. We'll get it thrown in. Balled up. Comes out. No clean possession taken. No prior opportunity. And we'll have another ball up. Just inside forward 50. Dragons and Bulldogs. Saturday afternoon, round 6. Ron Best Memorial Cup Day. Ball goes out and over the boundary line for a boundary throw in. So a little bit of a stalemate in the last minute. See if you can get us out of this one, Johnny.
Let's see if we can get Golden Square a goal on the board, because they're just at arm's length at the moment. They just need a little bit of scoreboard pressure. They've been pretty good in this opening half, as we'll have another stoppage.
Yeah, I'm with you. You'd like them to get one here just to bring it back, don't you, really? They get this one now, they'll be within one.
It's just Dragons just feel a little bit too comfortable because it hasn't got into single figures. Swooping on the football will be Mills of the Dragons. They need to be careful. Perez is in the area, as is Ireland. Rolling pack at the top of the square. It's a little bit of a rugby scrum. We'll have a ball up stoppage. 15 metres out, directly in front. Dogs attack, 13-point margin. Your turn and see if you can get us out of here, Cam.
Balled up. Rayner won it down. Spills wide. Well, Ireland tried to play for a free kick that he didn't have the ball. He might have had a case, but the umpire crosses his arms and says no. We'll ball it up. Ball goes up. Neither ruckman able to get hands on it. Might have looked like no ruckman nominated there, so the umpire just let the ball hit the ground.
Looked a bit like that, didn't it? Why would they not try and attempt to get their hand on the ball?
I suppose if you don't nominate, do you got to nominate in this competition?
You do.
For sure. But they're both standing within 3 metres of the umpire.
This time Sexton won it down. Spills out wide.
Usually if you don't nominate, the umpire nominates you because they're standing next to one another. Yeah.
Are you allowed to like wink and say me, or do you got to say me?
No, you got to put your hand
You
up.
don't raise your eyebrow or anything like that?
Yeah.
Umpire balls it up. It's in the forward pocket for the Dogs. Another whistle on play, and it'll be Dogs free. Now, this could be important. This could be an important part of the game, Don. It might be Rosengren that's got the kick.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Good vision.
45. Well, it's tighter than 45. He's literally in the pocket right in front of the netball. He's closer to the netballer than the footballers, really. Which is not a bad thing, I say, but let's go with Rosengren to the city end. Important kick is terror. Oh, is it? He's kicked it. Oh, I thought he mucked it up. The umpire moved a long way. Boy, oh boy, doesn't that put a cat amongst the pigeons here at, on the shadows of half time. They'll go to 4-5-29, 10-point margin, 5-9-39 Dragons. Red time here, second term. Score sponsor Jason Westcott Builder, where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yeah, well, that's 4 they've kicked this quarter to Sandhurst is 2. So, yeah, they're definitely in the hunt right now. So, let's see if they can put another one on in this red time.
Back in the middle. Cracking game of footy here. Sandhurst being asked some questions that they haven't been asked too many times this year. Tarju gets it, wins it out of the middle. Slipping over for the Dragons was his intended target, Perez, which allowed the mark to be taken there by Jack Trelfall. I've liked the game that Trelfall's played so far. On the right, sends it down the wing. Strosh will get a fly at it. Tried to mark the ball at its highest point. Ball goes over the boundary line, and Drew Barrett was content to play a nice solid bump right in front of us there. Ball thrown in. Rayner and Sexton. Sexton just bangs it forward about 10 metres before it'll be touched by anyone. It'll be touched by Humphreys, who paddles it over the boundary line for a boundary throw in, Johnny.
Yes, 10-point margin. Dragons, they lead, but not by any confidence here. Dogs are being good. Up they'll go in the ruck. It was Rayner again who's been pretty good. They dive in all on top of the footy. It was Stacks on. Remember the old Stacks on days at the South School, Don?
Yeah, I do.
That was it.
I do. I still don't like that second one in late.
No, they need to do something about that collectively across the board, the umpiring, don't they?
Yeah.
It was picked up by Westcott of the Dogs.
That's a free kick.
Free kick will go to the Dogs. It'll be Barrett. He's too far from home. He's left half forward.
Not sure the spectators in front of us agreed with you there, Don.
Well, it's Isaac Ruff by name and by nature.
Made him earn it.
Yeah, he did.
Now Barrett. He'll go long. Inside forward 50. Looking for another one. Searching. Daniels got high. A lot of hands on the footy, but didn't quite get it. Good. It was probably overzealous tackle. It was on Stagg by Daniels. And Stagg of the Dragons in his defensive zone will have a free kick.
He's got unlucky there. Stagg did drop his feet. I love the contest of Jai Daniels and then his follow-up with tackle.
He almost
Didn't
smothered
go
the
his
kick
way,
too.
that's all. Yeah.
Kick down the line, ends up with Freckleton, who's pounced on by Maxted. Ball hits the ground, we'll have a ball up. We've got the best seats in the house for this ball up, right in front of our position here. Tarju went through, couldn't take it. Strosh, his handball will find Lockie Hood, who will be taken over the boundary line by Rosengreen, who was lucky not to follow through with that slinging motion, I reckon, there, Rosengreen. Just pulled the tackle nicely after Harry Free had stepped over the boundary line. So we'll do it all again. Rayner trying to shield his eyes so he can see the ball from the sun. Stagg goes through. Tarju in there, Eaton in there for the Dogs, been a bit quieter this quarter, but still impressive. Humphreys goes backwards, finds a teammate there, which will be Holt. Holt works into the middle, Rosengren, Barrett, no clean possession. Barrett's pounced upon in the tackle. Lockie Wright was the tackler, and we'll have a ball up. 70 out from home.
Just across half forward. Right half forward for the Dragons. They're probably looking for the siren, I reckon, the Dragons, because they just need to regroup. Free kick to the big ruckman in Rayner of the Dogs. Short pass to Humphrey. Lets it bounce. Humphrey short pass. Barely goes the required distance to Westcott. Gives it back to Humphrey. Back to Westcott. They're just chipping it around, over-possessing the footy, and they've gone backwards.
If the last one wasn't 15, then that one's not 15 either, surely.
No, it was almost like a handball. That's how far it went. Ends up with Pellegrino for the Dogs. Left half back. Now he goes long. Long ball to half forward. They'll set themselves. Strosh jumped high, jumped early. Rough. His ball was intercept, dropping the footy, or just incorrect disposal, whatever you like. Umpire didn't like it and said no. There's a stoppage forms on left half forward for the Dogs.
Ball playing heavily on the grandstand side wing here at Wade's Red Oval Golden Square. Rayner gets it, knocks it straight over the boundary line. We'll get a throw in.
Harrison Burke's just managed to get a little bit of attention from Palprat, and I think it was Wright just off the ball.
So the off-field umpires come steaming in from the centre of the ground. He's found a free kick. The non-officiating umpire, which is umpire Carter.
And that's against Palprat. I just picked that up a moment ago.
Xavier
he had a
Carter.
crack at Harrison.
So Rosengreen's got it. He'll send it inside forward 50. Big pack flies. No mark taken. Kerno was collected high. In fact, he's given away a free kick for contact below the knees, and it's going to result in a shot on goal for the Dogs. Not sure about that one.
It was there. He dived forward.
You
I know he was
can't
trying
do
to
it
get the
anymore,
footy.
can you?
He was trying to win
Yeah.
the football, but he hooked a foot.
He
so-
almost ended up worse out of that one, and Macy Eaton is going to be the recipient. 35 metres out, directly in front, and someone's given the umpire a little bit of a lip, and it's going to be a resulting goal. And the Bulldogs are going to be right in the game at half-time because Eaton will slot the goal from a 50-metre penalty.
I reckon it was Stagg that was lipping then.
Well, Ash Connick will be fuming. Eaton comes through and sends the ball into the Bendigo City. Just booted it straight over the fence behind the goals. The Golden Square players, they come in. They know they are well in this game. Thank God it's half-time because we might have been waiting a little while for them to go and retrieve that footy to get the game back underway. Half-time here, and it is 4 points the difference. What a quarter from the Dogs. 5-5-35, Sandhurst 5-9-39. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
You talk about moments in footy. It just caught my eye down here that I saw Palprat and Stagg having a crack at Harrison Burke. Ball rolls forward. So I don't know whether something's upset them, but whatever the situation is, they're both having a 2v1 against Harrison Burke, and that carried over to that next contest. Free kick was given, and then we get that one again, and then a 50, and there were 4 points within the game. Just picking up what I noticed in front of me with, not sure what happened, but obviously whatever happened, they've impacted those next moments, and we've got a 4-point game now.
They look a little bit rattled, the Dragons out there. And when I say rattled, they're leading the game, but they're probably in a position where they're not used to. And I won't say there's a little bit of arguing going on amongst them in the middle there, but when there's that animated discussion between teammates and looking back at the umpires. So, A, let's forget about the umpires because that free kick was probably there. And B, they lipped off, so they got a 50-metre penalty. So I think they just need to come back into the rooms, the Dragons, albeit they lead, I said, but it's only, 4 points, but they just need to take a deep breath and regroup, Don.
Yeah, when you look at teams, you always interesting to see if Sandhurst can bring it back together and the coaching staff can get them back to winning the ball in their hands, because they've got some quality players there. They're just not quite gelling at the minute.
I think you mentioned a number of players in particular, though. Rosengren, his big body and his ability to win the ball at ground level are backed up by Barrett came into the game, and Macy Eaton, I've been impressed with him, for the whole half. And all of a sudden, Daniels looked dangerous up forward. Like, he got caught out of position, I reckon, a couple of times early in the game, but as the game wore on, all of a sudden he looked potent. He didn't he's kicked 2, but he looked that dangerous player.
And we saw a couple of almost. That dribbler from the netball side of the ground, where we thought it nearly went through, and then the take out of the ruck on that 50 metre area throw in, where he took it out of the ruck and snapped around the corner, which just went across the front. So yeah, he's very, very lively. I'm getting more impressed every minute I get to see him play.
Now the MCD for Cam, you've got your tentacles in every little pie in that competition. You got nothing for us.
No scores coming through as of yet that I've got, so wait and see if I can get something through. But yeah, nothing on their Play HQ site, and Denali source haven't even sent me a score today. So.
Nothing more X than an X, Cam. They don't like you anymore. You're up in the big league now again, calling the game. How did you see this game so far?
Yeah, a lot better standard than the footy that I would have been playing if I was still playing, Johnny. Yeah, Golden Square, they're right in this game, and I feel like even though they're 4 points down, they go into the half probably the happier of the two sides at the moment. So I was a bit worried about in that first 10 minutes when Golden Square had chances going forward that they didn't really have a target in that forward line that was going to take the game apart. But Kai Daniels has come into the game absolutely superbly. He's kicked 2 goals, 1 on the day. I'm liking Jaden Burke floating back there, but I also think Rosengren, who's having a good effort in the midfield, has gone forward and looked dangerous as well. So starting to prove that they do have options down there.
Well, they've had a 5-goal quarter.
Yeah, footy is a tough game, but I do feel like the scoring end, which usually does occur here at Wade Street, is the city end of the ground, but there's no wind to speak of whatsoever, so I'm not sure if there's any scientific reason other than that just seems to be the way that the ball goes when they're going through the goals, John.
Did he just make up a word then?
Yeah, I think so.
Scientifical.
Scientifical.
Very good, Cam. I like it when you make up words.
Isn't that not a word? Scientific reason.
But typical.
Half time at Leachville Gunbower. They lead Huntley 3-2 to 2-1. Also half time at Donald. It is Donald. They trail 4-4 to Sea Lake Nandali Tigers. Thanks for educating me there on that one, Cam. But
SLNT.
look, don't go anywhere if you've tuned into this game, because Golden Square are here to play. It's the first time that Sandhurst, we've seen them challenged in a really positive manner for a long time. In the Ron Best Memorial Cup, it is Golden Square. They trail 5-5-39 to 5-9-39. We'll be back and we'll discuss this 35. Game further. 39? Did I say 35 to 39?
35.
So it's a 4-point margin, Cam?
4-point margin.
Thank you for getting your scientific brain onto that. Where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
That would be mathematical.
It's everybody's favourite time of the week. It's the Bendigo Football Netball League Round 5, Top 5. And at number 1, it's Jack Lefroy from Kangaroo Flat. A great snap out of the pack and a smart finish. Number 2, it's Kyle Simons from Kangaroo Flat. In the right place at the right time. Ball fell in his lap and he finishes smartly. Number 3, it's Ryan Burke from Gisborne here. Collects the ball, then goes around the body, but got poleaxed. But lucky it went through for a goal. Number 4, it's Lachlan Gill from Strathfield Say. Smothered kick there, got it. I had to think quick and put it through the sticks. Number 5, it's Riley Wilson from Strathfield Say. Collected it, turned, and then he just put an absolute mongrel towards goals, scoring that one.
goes fresh. Thanks to the footy sponsor. Now it's time to fire up the delicious Dog footy franks. They're made for the footy. This dog, this good.
The third term is underway here at, I was going to say famous Canterbury Park. Of course we're not. We're at Wade Street where it's underway. It's a 4-point margin. Golden Square are coming with a vengeance. They've got possession of the footy now at half forward. They might get a free kick. They will. So they've come out the way they finished the first half. The Dogs. It'll be a long kick inside forward 50. Eaton doing well. Daniels made position and made space and used his body nicely off Lockie Wright and takes a chest mark and will line them up. And this would be a good start, Don Moran.
Yeah, I'm liking what he's bringing to their forward line. Definitely going to be a tough matchup, isn't he?
Absolutely. Thanks
Tall, athletic, yeah.
Thanks to the Golden Square Football Club, Netball Club for bringing us in some hot pies and pasties. Cam Power has gone down with burning to the roof of his mouth. He slammed down 3 quick style. Let's see what Daniels does. That is the worst, ugliest kick I've ever seen in my life. It somehow ended up at the top of the square, but possession is with the Dragons. That was an opportunity missed. And Free, Harrison Free, short pass, finds Tardrew, and Tardrew has got the footy in his back half.
So across half back. Understandably why you had that there, John. Across the ground go the Dragons. They'll work it down the far side wing here. It should bounce nicely for Coughlin.
You'll get indigestion, Cam.
Haven't seen his name too many times. It's the pastry and the hotness. Not a good combination, but a nice day here. Wilkinson's got it and sent it forward to the Dragons. 55 from home. Will look to quickly go inside forward 50. He steps one way then the other, and his kick will be chopped off by Jack Troffel, who will mark for the Dogs. Troffel then will switch across the ground. Oh, doesn't bounce nicely for Burke. He manages to keep it alive just, and he fires the handball over the top to the Ham Pellegrino. First game for him. Burke couldn't quite contain it. Max Zeb went through. It spills out now. Stepping one way, then the other. It's going to be Oscar Perez, who's going to bend it goalwards right to the line. Bouncing ball in the square. Dogs happy to concede a minor score. 5-5-35, playing 5-10-40, 5-point margin. And it'll be brought back into play by Troll of the Dogs. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers.
Short pass, Freckleton receives in front of the netballers. Freckleton of the Dogs.
He's up hot, that pie.
I could see by the tears in your eyes and the skin coming out of your mouth as it was burning. As the ball now is in front of us, broadcast side. Winning the footy was Eaton. He's been pretty good for the Dogs. Tardrew wins through a turnover, gives it to McLean. McLean inside forward 50. Good defensive punch. Go Connick. He won the footy, then handballed it. He didn't look. He handballed it straight to Hurd. It was a turnover. Now releases through Harry Burke. They'll turn it over now. Hood wins it for the Dragons. Inside forward 50. Wilkinson, one-on-one with Trelfel. Did well the ladder. Trelfel then dives in after the footy. Wins it. Then taps it towards the boundary line, trying to kill it. Connick, though, picks it up for the Dragons and steps over the line. And across half forward, it is the Dragons in attack. Will have a ball in. It's a 5-point margin. Dragon lead only a couple of minutes into this third term.
Ball thrown in on the far wing. Great game of footy brewing here at Wade Street Oval. And the Dogs are taking it right up to the Dragons. Trying to go through the pack is Palprat. He was unable to take it and get it out. So we'll get a ball up. Umpire Carter throws the ball in the air. Playing a terrific game, young umpire. Good to see plenty of young umpires around the competition, especially in that central gig. You don't see too many young umpires having a crack. It's really good to see. We'll have a ball up. Rayner wins it down for the Dogs. Eaton's in there, fires the handball out wide. Dragons will turn the kick over. Oh, the kick was forward, but straight to Hurd, who just goes the barrel in the direction of Stewart. It looked nice off the boot, but didn't find anyone in particular. Stewart playing a little bit of basketball through the middle of the ground, unable to take it cleanly. And Free did take it cleanly, but then he was taken to ground in a strong tackle by Stewart.
It's that point we're talking about. He took him on, didn't dispose of it. So that was there. He had prior opportunity there.
Yeah.
That was a wrong call.
I feel like if the Dogs are any chance, they need Jack Stewart to show what he did in the first quarter to get them back in the game. Connick gets it for the Dragons, works it forward, inside forward 50, bouncing ball. It's going to be with Johnny Coe. John Coe fires the handball out to Brody James, and James will clear the kick down the line in the direction of Strosh. Couldn't quite take the mark, spills off hands. Coughlin gets it, bangs it inside forward 50. It's going to land in the lap of a Sandhurst player, 25 metres out directly in front.
Wilkinson.
And Matty Wilkinson will go back. And luck's a fortune if your name's Matty Wilkinson.
It's their 5th forward entry since the start of the quarter.
MCDFNL, thanks to Wayne Mitchell. Talbot, 2-2-14, trail Harcourt, 7-8-50. It's half-time in that game.
So Wilkinson, 30 metres out directly in front. Made the goal umpire work a little bit, but it goes through for a goal. And the first goal of the second half goes the way of the Dragons. They put their lead out to 11. 6-10-46 playing the square, 5-5-35. Our score sponsor, JB Re-Stumping. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
I'm a believer, John, that you like to get the footy into guys that deliver it well. And I've seen 5 entries then, and 4 of them have been from Jake McLean and Caleb Connick. They're not great users of the ball. But then that one, James Coughlin.
This is another player that's infringed in the
So it'll be Golden Square now.
second time we've had that happen today.
Rosengren kicked it to Stewart. Stewart on right half forward for the Dogs, launching an attack here. Oh, I'm not sure he meant to go in that direction. It come off the side of his boot in my mind, but he spotted up a teammate in Liam Thomas.
Yeah, he'll tell you he meant to.
Well, it was one of those look-aways if he did, because he was looking goalward.
Outside
And Thomas,
of the boot kick, John.
yeah. Do you think he did it deliberately?
Yes.
Really?
No.
Thomas, 45-degree angle. In he comes to the Maple Street end, and it works. It's hard up against the line, off hands, minor score.
Jadenberg nearly clunked that.
He did, didn't he? 10-point margin. Early stages, third term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Around the grounds in the MCDFNL, just starting the third quarter, is Denali 2-6-18 to Natty Bialba 10-8-68. So 50-point lead there to the Swans of Natty Bialba. Sandhurst have worked the ball out of defence up to the 50 where it goes out of bounds. Right in front of an allotment of flags. There's about 10 of them there, which are doing absolutely nothing on this still day here at Wade Street Oval. Yellow ones, blue ones, all with that Golden Square logo on them. Ball goes up, knocked down. The umpire's going to let him play, and somehow Oscar Perez almost ended up like he was crowd surfing on the top of that pack there. And get a ball up again. Rosengren lurks for the Dogs. He picks up cleanly below his knees. Handball just missed Tommy Strosh. Carraher went through for the Dragons. Spills out wide. Strosh got it back. Handball up. Westcott's in there. He takes on the tackler there, which would be Keating. And the umpire says we'll ball it up, which he wastes no time doing.
Up they go in the ruck. It'll be Sexton. Stewart got his hands on the footy for the Dogs. Stagg as well getting involved. Hood to Carraher by hand. They'll emerge through Tardrew. Worked it nicely. Long kick to half forward. John Coe tracks the footy for the Dogs. Tackled hard by Kerno of the Dragons. And in their forward zone, right on 50 for the Dragons. It'll be a ball up. 10-point margin. Dragons lead. Golden Square super competitive this afternoon, and we're a long way from home yet. Up they go in the ruck. Ball spills in the direction of Holt of the Dogs. Trelfel showed support, then banged it on the boot, and in fact goes out of bounds or a mark to Connick. Connick, short pass. The umpire's going to call it back.
I think it was out of bounds. Connick doesn't look very impressed with it though.
I reckon he might have juggled it over the line.
Well, we might be doing a score review because the umpires are having a conference.
No, it's a ball in. So 70 out from home for the Dragons. It'll be a ball in. 10-point margin. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Almost midway. Oh, well, still a fair way away from midway through this third term. A lot of time left in this game, Cam.
Ball thrown in. We've only played not a lot of time in this one.
10 minutes to be precise.
Your eyes are pretty good if you can read that one on the far side of the ground. Ball up just inside 50. Dragons go through. Tarju fed out the handball wide. Stags at the bottom of the pack. Knocked it forward. Picked up and sent forward for the Dogs. Battling hard in there is young Tom Strosh. No real clean possession. Westcott for the Dogs had his handball smothered. Connick spins his way out of trouble. Gave it to Curnow. Back to Connick. Connick will go goalwards. Would be a really good goal, and it is. Caleb Connick kicks his second. The spin, the handball to Curnow, the get back was absolutely superb, and the Dragons just flexed their muscle a little bit. That lead out to 16 points. 7-10-52. The Dogs 5-6-36. 10.5 gone, third quarter. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers, where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. And Don, Caleb Connick, is he in with a chance of that award? Bendigo City Framers best on ground. He's been pretty good.
Yeah, he was a bit quiet in the second. He had a good first quarter, and he started the third quarter in a simple vein. So, yeah, at the moment, he's definitely in the mix.
Our sponsor, Bendigo City Framers, the $100 voucher going to the best player. We'll adjudge it not long after the completion of this game, as we'll have a secondary ball up. Stoppage, just fractionally forward of centre now for the Dragons. Long shadows forming here at Wade Street. Up they'll go in the ruck. No clear winner out of the middle. Stagg was strong in the tackle. Rosengren, he's strong in the hips then when he collected the footy, but just couldn't make space. And we'll have another ball up. 36 playing 52. Dragons lead. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Neither ruckman got hands on the ball, just hits the ground. And pack of players dive on top of that one. Nick Stagg was the first one on it, and then it was Stacks on top of him. Like children at a playground playing Stacks on. Not sure if you're allowed to play that anymore, but Macy Eaton grabbed the ball cleanly, spun his way out of trouble, fed it off to Rosengren. Rosengren's kick goes wide, hard up against the boundary line. And we'll get a boundary throw in. True centre wing position, grandstand side. Underneath the shadows here, underneath where the rest of the ground is covered in sunshine. Maxted up against Rayner. Again, no clear winner. Coughlin got it, sent it forward. Carraher had to jump over the much taller Truffle, but he did well. Spills to the ground. Maxted goes through. Trying to bustle through for the Dragons will be Wilkinson. And the umpire says we'll ball it up. 60 metres out from home. Dragons in attack.
Left half forward. Tap over the top by Maxted, then he won it back. It fell into his arms and it goes on the outside of the boot to 50. Carraher was in the area. Perez taps it in front of him. Trollful shows some pressure for the Dogs. Diving in after the footy was Humphrey of the Dogs. And it's another one of those diving ones that you just can't do. Alex Wharton, free kick Dragons. Into a pocket, hard lead. Fergus Green, haven't called him for a long time in this game. Emerges.
Is he still out there?
Well, he's got the footy now. He marked it in front of his eyes. He come out like a train. And pretty tight angle.
Young Xavier Carter's done a terrific job on him today.
Fergus Green, son of a gun, to the city end. Twirls the ball between his hands. Slow, deliberate approach. In he comes. Just to steady it even further for the Dragons. Lights it off the boot and slams it through. Dragons, they're just starting to slip away here now. Good kick and a good goal. 8-10-58 Dragons. 5-6-36 the Dogs. Halfway through this third term, score sponsor Parsons Towing in Castlemaine, where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
It's two of those free kicks we've witnessed today, isn't it? That
certainly is.
Player diving, trying to take control of the ball and clip an ankle and below the knees. And yeah, the free kicks are definitely there. Hurts when it hits you on the scoreboard.
Back in order we go. Rayner won it down, bounced at the feet of Rosengren, hits the ground, pack dive on hit, ball up. We'll do it all again. This time Maxted. He won the double fisted down to Coughlin, who was taken straight away by Rosengren. Both players probably thought they had a fair clunk of that footy. Try again for a third time to try and get it out of the centre. Maxted and Rayner again. Ball hits Coughlin, taken in the tackle, spills out wide. That netball whistle threw me off again. Ball hits the ground. We'll have another ball up.
Just forward of centre for the Dragons. Kicking to the city end. Umpire will throw it up. Up they'll go in the ruck. Rayner has been pretty good this afternoon for the Dogs. Contested ball, smack bang in the middle. Rayner fumbled a ball he probably should have taken. Ball just squirts out in the direction of Paul Pratt. Jake McLean gets upended by Rosengren. Paul Pratt, good strong tackle on him in reply. And good footy all round from both sides. Good tough stuff. And right in front of us, broadcast side on the wing, we'll have a ball up stoppage.
Speaking of netball, Sandhurst 37, Golden Square 14 over there. So all Sandhurst in the netball. Ball going out. Tarju picked it up. He was taken upon by Rosengreen, handballed it over the boundary line. And while if we're playing AFL, that is as deliberate as they come. Player tackle, just handballed it. No one in the vicinity, but it just doesn't get called in the local footy, does it, Don?
No, it seems to be just not part of what they have put in their general rules.
Well, it was clear as day. Coughlin gets it, feeds it out to Stagg. Stagg with the high ball forward towards Carraher. Sets and lets it bounce, and then he'll happily see that one over the boundary line, because as soon as he was about to take possession, he was about to be pounced upon by Trelfall at the top of 50.
Three-quarter timeout at White Hills. White Hills lead 14-9 to Heathcote 2-8. Thanks to Paul Wicks for the updates out there.
Wheels are falling off at Heathcote this
A little bit disappointing, according to Paul.
Well, Heathcote were the big ravers at pre-season and just haven't delivered so far yet. Super tight league, that Heathcote league, though.
Putrid, is that a word? That's the word he used.
Rosengreen got it. Well, Burke went through, might have been trying to claim himself a high free kick, but he was tackled fairly, and we'll get a ball up on the second attempt. Unlike a word that Wixie would use.
Well, he might add a few expletives around it. That means naughty words can, by the way. As the ball is contested here in front of us. Stewart picks it up for the Dogs. On the left foot, kind of goes up the chimney. I'm not sure he tried to pick out Humphrey, but he was the recipient, so he'll take it. Humphrey now in the centre. Looks to the back door. He's got no one forward. Short pass. Hits up Holt. Holt, defensive side of the centre circle for the Dogs. He's got Rosengren if he wants him laterally. Ignores that and decides to go long. He's looking for his teammate Eaton. Used his body. The decision was he was unfairly pushed out.
He was the one that instigated contact.
I thought he did too, Don.
He did, yes. Yeah, well.
You heard the crowd reaction there as Macy Eaton's going to receive the free kick. He'll quickly go inside forward 50, right into where the players are all looking directly in the sun. And the Dragons will work it out through Wharton. Wharton to McLean. McLean back to Wharton. Wharton through the middle. Finds Curnow. Curnow gets and goes. Sends it wide. Will get the run. It's in the hands of Wilkinson. He played on and then he was taken in the tackle. Well, it had to be holding the ball, surely. It wasn't, because he just put it on the ground when he was tackled. Dogs will work it out, though. Trelfall will send it wide. He'll find a teammate underneath the scoreboard. And they will work it forward here. Might be Sampson.
Goes long. Inside forward 50. No one home. Ireland by hand to right. Up to the wing. James Coughlin working it nicely. Keating goes to the wing. Now it's a long ball to go inside forward 50. Oh, one-hander! Fergus Green reached for the stars, grabbed it in by the right hand. Then he plays on, tight angle, goalward, and kicks a point. Oh, did everything right except for kick the goal. Excitement machine, 60 playing 36, Dragons lead. Third term, 16 and a half gone.
Trelfall brings it back into play. Oh, dangerous kick for Humphrey. Hits the ground. There's 4 Dragons lurking, but it might work out okay. Hurd went through for the Dogs, fired it out. Pelprat's in there. Rosengreen gets it. Just happy to see it out of there with the kick in the direction of Burke. Burke then punched it back into the middle. Maxted got it. Sent it out. It came... And Maxted's kick's gone out of bounds on the full. I couldn't see the boundary line right under our position here. It's going to be a free kick to Harry Burke. It was Isaac Ruff that gave him the handball. Burke plays on quickly once he's allowed to do so. Finds its way into the hands of Holt. And Holt goes across the ground. And he finds the teammate Johnny Coe. Johnny Coe then to Trelfall. I've liked the game Trelfall's played. Right on the middle of the Peter Moroney wing. He goes down the line. James has got it. Sends it inside forward 50. It's all Dragons. Intercept mark will be taken. It's in the hands of, I think it's Lockie Wright down there.
Yeah, Lockie Wright.
Not sure what he's doing that end of the ground, but Lockie Wright will slow things up for the Dragons.
Trelfall, the contender for the voucher from our sponsor. Bendigo City Framers in Garsett Street. A $100 voucher will be awarding for the best player at the end of the game. Right.
It'll be a tough one to pick today. There really hasn't been a standout player for either side, has there?
For the Dragons, comes laterally, so they've moved it from one side to the other. Now they'll decide to bring it down broadcast wing. Free run a long way for the Dragons. then kicked it in the direction of Hood. It bounced nicely for him. Don't argue. Showed some composure, but handballed it straight to Eaton, so it was a turnover. That's a turnover. The kick, that was a poor kick. Kicked it straight to Mills. Mills of the Dragons, and that's a poor kick to Trelfall. They're playing kick to kick and just turnover after turnover. Eventually James ends up with it. One bounce and he'll kick it long to half forward.
That he does, and well, it's that turnover game we're talking about again. Ireland on his own. Had an Ireland, one would say. He handballs off to a teammate. Now they'll run through the middle. Here's Perez. Has got the dash like his younger brother Flynn Perez used to bring to this side. His kick's a beauty as well. Mark's been taken 30 metres out. Dealt with after he took the mark. Might be 50, not sure.
Got to be.
But it was a terrific grab, and Fergus Green will line him up for goal. 35 metres out directly in front. 50 not played. Umpire might deeming that it was in the play.
What do you reckon, Don? That my gut reaction was 50, wasn't it? Was it necessary?
It was in the motion. I'm probably going to go with the umpire on this one.
Oh, really? You had that look in your eye. You got a cheeky look saying, but.
No. He came in to defend the ball, and there wasn't much in it, to be honest. Got him in the chest.
So Fergus Green will kick from 40 directly in front. Will just about put it to a game-high lead if he puts this one through. Green hasn't had his greatest day set shot-wise today, and he's pulled that one to the left as well. He's now got 2 goals, 4 on the day, Fergus Green, so he could have been on for a bag, but he just hasn't converted. 8-13-61. They now lead the Golden Square Dogs, who are 5-6-36. 21 minutes gone in the third quarter. Score sponsor Bendigo City Framers, where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Kicking from fullback. It'll come broadcast side. Trelf will send it long. In fact, it might have been Carter that was kicking in from fullback. They both got the long sleeves on. Nevertheless, he kicked it straight to Tardrew. Tardrew short pass forward to Stagg. Then Tardrew ran on, received a handball. He'll go inside forward 50. Kicked it to a 2-on-1, looking for Green. A bit too conscious, but he ended up winning the footy. The handball was severe in the direction of Connick. Good play, though. He tapped it in the direction of a teammate. That was okay through Perez. Connick then backs up. He'll come in board. He showed composure, Connick. Good bit of play. It was awkward looking, which he seems to have that style about him, but effectively ended up kicking it to Paul Pratt, who will have a shot on goal. And Don, I know you were wincing at every move, but it ended up in the right hands in the end, didn't it?
Not 100% confident on this kick, to be honest.
Well, I mean, as in the Dragons, and he shot at goal. Paul Pratt misses and pulled it. In fact, didn't make the distance. I was getting at probably how awkward Connick looked, but effective.
Yeah. I suppose at the end of the day, if it comes off the boot and it's marked, it's effective, John.
Snick him through slips for 4, it's 4, Don.
It sure is, off the bat.
So they bring it out. Might be coming back, though. Maxed's got it. On the left, that's a really nice kick for a noted right footer. Curnow flew, couldn't take the mark, spills to ground. Wow, Freckleton took on the tackle, and as Don called, he was gone. Umpire said he was gone. Crowd thought he was gone. All the way around, it is gone holding the ball. And it's going to result in a set shot on goal, directly in front of goal. 10 metres out for the Sandhurst Dragons. Who's going to receive the free kick here? It's going to be Oscar Perez. Gee, there'll be celebrations if he kicks this one. Perez comes in, wastes no time and slots it. So his first. Oh, I thought they might have come and got around him a little bit more than that one, but he kicks the goal in his first game in senior footy for this season. And now the Dragons, they're just starting to skip away. 9-14-68, Golden Square 5-6-36, 25 gone. In the third quarter, our score sponsor is Parsons Towing in Castlemaine. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Shame, Don, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we said at the break that Golden Square had the flow, but they're just got a little bit missing at the minute. Haven't got their hands on the ball as much as they did in that second quarter.
Bulldogs desperately need the next one.
Back into the middle. Yeah, you just...
Just off here, we've had 12 inside 50s in 20 minutes for Sandhurst.
In the middle it goes. Up they'll go in the ruck. No clear winner again. Hood paddles in front of him for the Dragons, and then he'll send it forward. Good bit of stuff. And it's going to be a whistle for a hold, and a free kick goes to the Dragons. Carraher, the littlest man on the field, was held. Why would you bother holding him in a marking contest? I will never know. But the result is that he's going to have a shot at goal.
Lockie Hood, who kicked it in, has got to be in contention for that Bendigo City Framers Award as well. Best on ground today, Johnny. He's been absolutely fantastic.
He has indeed. Isaac Carraher to the city end, directly in front. 35 out, should not miss and does not miss. Carraher gets his name in the scorebook. So they're just running away with it here a little bit, the Dragons. That is his first, and that takes the score to 10-14-74 to a labouring Golden Square, 5-6-36. We're well into red time here in the third term. Score sponsor, JB Re-Stumping, where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yeah, well, they've definitely capitalised on their inside 50s now. They've kicked five straight now and haven't given even a whimper, have they, Golden Square up front? Total domination now across the field.
Well, they caught the premiership quarter, and Sandhurst are showing that is what we're right in for this year. Sexton won it down. Hood gets in there, finds his way out of trouble and gave it to Sexton, who was pounced upon straight away. Diving on top of the footy there for the Dragons. Might have been Stagg, and he's going to get penalised for holding the ball. Not sure that he really had much of a possession, but he did dive on top of the ball. Bulldogs will quickly work it forward. It'll be sent inside forward 50 from Holt. Burt come out and met his opponent hard but fair. Spills out now. It'll be in the hands of the Dogs. Rayner's got it. We'll send it inside forward 50. Stewart's going to have to fly, but he was the little man there. Spilled off hands. Barrett got it. Couldn't take any clean possession. Umpire says I'll ball it up 40 out from home.
I know it's not about us, but we did say 6 goals, we thought, at the start of the game. And it could get beyond that if Golden Square don't switch on, because sadly, particularly in the last 15 minutes or so, they just haven't shown the intensity they did in that second term. As we'll have another stoppage. Inside forward 50 for the Dogs. To the Maple Street end, long shadows here. Sexton did well, taps it to the back door. He looked for Tardrew. Tardrew just, well, he was careful when he tackled James and put him into the turf. And on right half forward for the Dogs, we'll have a ball up, 36 playing 74. 28 minutes gone for third term.
Rayner won it down. Hurd got through. I haven't really called Dylan Hurd's name too many times this afternoon. Of course, Golden Square Junior went to Eagle Hawk for a season now. Back at Golden Square. Knocked forward by Sexton. Macy Eaton couldn't get it cleanly. Hood's handball worked out to Wharton. Wharton then stepped back into the trouble nicely. Found his way through. Gave it to Stagg. Stagg will send it inside. Carraher sharked it. Ran off for goal, and he's been pinned holding the ball. Did not see John Coe. If he did and tried to take him on, it was silly, and he's been penalised holding the ball. John Coe will quickly chip it into the pocket, and he'll find Luke Holt.
Holt now receives. Defensive zone just in front of the netballers. Short pass. Oh, it was poor. Put West Coast under pressure. They've got safety of numbers, though. But that's only momentarily because it's a long kick out by the Dogs. It came through Westcott, and he put it out of bounds on the full. So Lockie Wright of the Dragons will receive a free kick. He's got players inboard if he wants. He's got Tardrew and Ireland. Ignores that. He probably needs to go in that direction just to open up a bit. Still ignores it. Short pass. Spots James Coughlin. So he went forward and it was effective. He's 70 from home. Short pass forward. Curnow hits him up. And Curnow, good kick from here it'll be. Right on the siren. So he hasn't got a choice now. The man on the mark stands at 49. 45-degree angle to the city end. We'll get a real good look at this, Don Moran.
Yeah, Bryce has always had a long leg, so it's going to be close. He's a little bit aging on, so but I'm going to back him.
It's probably this distance where he can launch without launching too far. Gets onto it, underneath it. It'll go to the line. They just set themselves. The umpires will confer, I think. The goal umpire, he got one in the back of the scone, did he?
No score.
No score. He did. He must have got one, and the umpires have gone to see how he was. But, geez, he must have only been a metre in it. But doesn't matter. So
They would have tested the hamstrings of Curnow, though.
So it was no score. Let's go around the grounds for a score update. Donald, 5-5 trail SLNT 7-14. Sea Lake Nandali Tigers. Oh, geez, I like it how it just rolls off the tongue. And here, three-quarter time, a dominant Sandhurst in that premiership quarter, they call it. They've skipped out to a lead that's 10-14, 74, 5-6, 36. So Golden Square are going to have to kick another 5 goals, well, 6 goals, in fact, to get in front, and they've only kicked 5 for the game. But you just never know. It is only a handful of goals. Let's see what happens. Don't go anywhere where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
It's everybody's favourite time of the week. It's the Bendigo Football Netball League Round 5, Top 5. And at number 1, it's Jack Lefroy from Kangaroo Flat. A great snap out of the pack and a smart finish. Number 2, it's Kyle Simons from Kangaroo Flat. In the right place at the right time. Ball fell in his lap and he finishes smartly. Number 3, it's Ryan Burke from Gisborne here. Collects the ball, then goes around the body, but got poleaxed. But lucky it went through for a goal. Number 4, it's Lachlan Gill from Strathfield Say. Smothered kick there, got it, had to think quick and put it through the sticks. Number 5, it's Riley Wilson from Strathfield Say. Collected it, turned, and then he just put an absolute mongrel towards goals, scoring that one.
Victoria, the people out there, the bus drivers know. It's Bendigo's Fresh. Thanks to local food sponsor, more live Bendigo football. And now it's time to fire up delicious dog footy frames.
Three-quarter time here at Wade Street, where a dominant Sandhurst in that third term have skipped out to a 37-point lead. John Hunter, Don Moran and Cam Power bringing you all the action where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. The score here is 10-13, 73 Sandhurst to Golden Square, 5-6, 36. Better players, Don, who did you have there for Sandhurst?
Yeah, I thought Lockie Tardrew's been solid across the day. Caleb Connick's been had a good first and third quarter. As is, I think Lockie Hood probably one we've got under our radar a little bit. He's definitely had plenty of clearances across the ground. So that'd be my 3 at the moment. But other than that, you can throw a blanket over quite a lot of them. To be honest, there's been quite a lot of them that have contributed, and there's quite a few that haven't been involved a lot today.
Three-quarter time at Leachville Gunbower. Leachfield, Gumbau 11-7 and Huntley are 5-4. So Hamish Morecambe, his little bit of a run he had has come to a little bit of a close, Cam. Better players for Golden Square. Well, Rosengren, who was pretty good up until half-time, he probably backed off a little bit then. I reckon Macy Eaton has been their best player across half-back. He's been pretty solid all day. I've liked the work of Big Rayner in the ruck. I thought he's been pretty good. And also Trelfall across half-back as well. Young Jack Trelfall has had his hands on the footy. Goal kickers, Cam Power.
Yes, Fergus Green, 2 goals, but 4 behinds as well, so he could have had a lot more, had plenty of chances. Isaac Carraher, Lockie Wright, singles. Matty Wilkinson has also got 1, as Oscar Perez, and 2 goals to Bryce Curnow and Caleb Connick. For the Bulldogs from Wade Street, Jordan Rosengreen has got 1, Macy Eaton, Jaden Burke, and 2 to Kai Daniels.
Our Matchday Best on Ground award, valued at $100, is sponsored by Bendigo City Framers, where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. We will nominate a player just shortly after the completion of this game. And hopefully, Cam, if you can do some of your best work like you have in previous weeks, we'll get that player up here and have a chat to them in the box. Not putting any pressure on anyone.
I've been able to get some pretty good feedback from that, so hopefully we can rackle up whoever that will be, which I'm going to suggest it might be from someone from Sandhurst with the way this game's looking, so don't have to travel too far as they're directly below us.
They certainly come out a lot settled in that third term. Let's see what they do in this final term. Just about to get things underway. Where local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo, here's the powerhouse, Cam Power.
So umpire Carter, son of the great Gavin Carter, will get the ball up right in front of our broadcast position. True centre wing. Hurd went through, tried to claim a free kick for a high, umpire having none of it. Ball hits the bottom of the pack and we'll get another ball up. Tardew and Hurd there going at it. Sexton won it down. Spills into the hands of Coughlin, who was wrapped up as soon as he received the ball, if not a little bit beforehand, by Rosengreen. We'll ball it up again. Third time lucky, possibly. Rayner, he just thumps it forward about 20 metres, coming out hard and picking up cleanly. That was Westcott. He bustles away, sends it inside to Burke. Terrific play by young Westcott. And the mark's been taken by Burke, 40 metres out directly in front. If he kicks this, well, the Dogs will just be thereabouts to make a pounce in this final quarter. This is the scoring end, as I said, scientifically.
That wasn't the word he used, was it? No. I can't even remember what it was, but it was funny.
He comes in 40 from home, sends it goalwards right to the line, and he's kicked a goal. The Bulldogs get the first of the final quarter, and it is game on at Wade Street Oval. 6-6-42. They trail the Sandhurst Dragons. And local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo, thanks to Bendigo City Framers score sponsor, the Dragons 10-13-73.
It goes to show if you clear it from that centre, you've got 1 kick inside, and if you can catch it inside that 50, you've got a beautiful kick like Jaden Burke, you finish it off.
Couple quick ones on the board would be handy. Rayner does the ruck work again. Pouncing on it there will be Hurd. They'll go inside forward 50 via Hurd again to the top of the square. Bouncing footy. Oh, I need to kill it here, the Dragons. I need to be careful. Oh, good strong tackling by Daniels. Ball spills and the umpire said it was a slinging tackle.
Too aggressive, John.
Too aggressive, and Isaac Ruff will get the free kick for the Dragons.
Yep, it was a rough tackle.
Nice.
It was an Isaac tackle.
Campbell's got it. You can hear the crickets chirping away then. Far side of the ground for the Dragons.
Leave the funny stuff to the funny people, Cameron.
They'll come wide.
Oh,
The
dear
kick
me.
just found its way to its intended target. Now they go down the line. Dragons have got the out here. Stagg, who's also been good. He'll be in contention for that City Framers award. Goes to Maxted, and coming over the top and just stealing it will be Freckleton. He quickly plays on, wasting no time, but he's kicked it back in the rough direction. Worked forward by Stewart. Stewart's kick. Westcott's lurking. Couldn't quite get there. Dragons will work this one out, though. Pretty happy to see it across the boundary line. Island came from Lockie Wright.
Dogs in attack. 50 from home. In front of the netballers. Their score looks 22-62, so Golden Square trailing that as well. Thrown in there. Rayner doing the hard work in the ruck. Hurried kick by Sexton, who grabbed it for the Dragons. causes a turnover. Trelful grabbed it. He didn't look. Another turnover, and he kicked it straight to Mills of the Dragons. So Mills on his defensive arc of 50. He's got players spreading for him. He'll be asked to play on now. He is. Short pass forward. Oh, it was dangerous, but Tardru was good enough and took a mark.
Wastes no time, feeds off the handball to the runner. They go straight down the middle. Ends up with Alex Wharton. Wharton goes to Curnow. Curnow strong. He was then, well, he got taken to ground, but it was all in the same motion according to the umpire. Curnow chips it short, and Alex Wharton, all on his own, takes the mark. He's going to give it to Curnow. He steps around the man on 50. He launches from 40, and he hasn't gone anywhere near goal. It spills to the top of the square. Maxted lurking. Spills out wide. And, well, there's a free kick for a push in the back, which is going to go the way of the Dragons, I think.
Fergus Green, I reckon, Cam.
Hard up against the boundary line, Fergus Green. Bryce Curnow surely he wasn't passing that after getting that.
Fergus Green will kick this.
So
they always kick him, these AFL players.
There you go. Record that one and wait and see. Fergus Green.
The old round the corner.
Hard
Cam.
up against the boundary. Will go the snap. The crowd will tell the story. And it's quiet because he missed. So minus score. As Johnny said, he'll kick this one. He did not. 6-6-42, 10-13-73. We've played 5 minutes in the final quarter. Score sponsor Bendigo City Framers. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
74, in fact, Cam. They were a bit slow on the scoreboard as Trelful kicked it in from full back. He put it well into the centre square. The ball now spills to half forward. Picked up by Free of the Dragons. A long ball into the goal square. They'll set themselves. Oh, poor defensive work it was there by the Golden Square Bulldogs. Fergus Green was just standing at the goal line alone, and it just bounced into his arms, and he said, "Thank you very much, I'm going to kick a goal." Gee whiz, 11-14-80, 6-6-42. They're not going to win it if they're going to let players do that. They're Don Moran, are they? The Dogs? That was terrible.
You got one job as a defender on that last line, John, and it's definitely punched that ball across the line.
And just
then
Fergus Green, let him be by himself. I mean, damn.
If it doesn't go over, we want a second effort, don't we?
Oh,
We just all stood and watched him.
3 goals, 5 on the day now for Fergus Green. Umpire throws the ball back up in the middle. Sexton bangs it forward. Going through will be Eaton for the Dogs. Couldn't quite get it, but it was a real momentum-killing goal, that one. Rayner's got it. Pounced upon as soon as he received the ball taking the ground. And Golden Square play taking a little bit of time to get back up is Macy Eaton.
As good as Golden Square have been, that was the most disappointing part of the game, that part then, when Fergus Green was allowed to do that. That was just rubbish defensively by the Dogs.
Obviously nothing wrong with Eaton as he barrels in hard and gets the footy, sends a high ball forward. Dragons should have the numbers at the drop of the ball. It's going to be work forward. Truffle tried to claim the mark, wasn't 15 metres. He then kicked it forward, but it was smothered by Coughlin. Coughlin got it, wheeled it inside forward 50. Oh, mark dropped on the last line defence for the Dogs. That might have been James down there. A mark he probably should have held. He'll be disappointed. In fact, I think it was Carter that dropped that one. And we'll get a ball up just inside forward 50 for the Dragons.
So it'll be Coe that wins it for the Dogs. Trelful has dealt with as he offered support. And it'll be a stoppage hard up against the boundary line. So they're in attack here, Sandhurst. They better be on the game defensively, the Dogs, compared to what they were a couple of minutes ago when Fergus Green kicked that goal. It's a hurry kick out of the pack, ends up with Freckleton. And he handballed it through the points. I reckon he was looking for Trelful and he wasn't watching, and it was put through for a rush behind. 11-15-81, 6-6-42. Dogs labouring here. Early stages, final term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
So brought in by Trelful. Free. Couldn't quite take the mark. Spills off hands. Going through for the Dogs will be Holt. Spills out. Hurd. Picked it up. Dragons go wide again. A little tap down. Westcott gave it off to Hurd. Hurd broke one tackle, broke the second, then fires handball. Was looking for Trelful, but it went 10 metres high and not very far forward. Dragons will turn it over. Tarju to Curnow. Couldn't quite fingertip it. Spills into the hands of Eaton, who's tackled by Curnow, and the umpire says we'll ball it up. Right on the paint of 50. Dragons in attack. Square did ask a couple of questions early in the quarter, but the Dragons have responded nicely. Unable to take the possession cleanly was Pelprat. Curnow dives in after it. Hurd threw his head back like he was trying to claim himself a free kick. Wasn't coming. We'll get a ball up.
Well, we've got the close one today. It's the only one. And we thought that they might have been challenged a bit here, the Dragons, at half-time, and it just hasn't eventuated, as the Dogs will win it now on the wing. In fact, it'll be out of bounds. This is a good bit of defensive play by Jake McLean. It's more so across half forward for Sandhurst. Kicking to the Maple Street end. Umpire throws it in. Connor Sexton probably won it from Daniels on that occasion. Trying to burst through was Eaton, who's been the Dogs' best in my mind. And we'll have another stoppage. So ball up, right half forward. Sandhurst in attack. Carragher received. Handballed it to Tardrew. By hand gave it to Hood. Dragons will go forward again. Good strong mark. Won't be paid by Coe, or will it be? It is for the Dogs, and Dogs will release.
So Coe goes across the ground, but the kick was an absolute shocker. And I say shocker because if we were playing AFL, it would have been insufficient intent, I reckon, Don.
Yeah, they would have paid that one for sure. Jeez, he didn't have much on either, though, so maybe, yeah, definitely on that deliberate end, I think, for sure, because he didn't have much to kick it to.
You see sometimes, you know they're not intending it to be, but when the kick's that bad and there's no one in the vicinity, Dogs will work it out of defence off the clearance. Kick went high, no one able to really get on the end of it. They'll find a way through. Rosengreen got it, banged it forward. Found its way into the hands of Strosh. Good mark by Strosh, who's about 80 from home. He has to hold up and wait for the cavalry to get forward. He sends it inside forward 50. Good kick, mark taken. Good bit of play that from Jack Sampson. The late inclusion, who hasn't seen too many chances today, but he's going to get an opportunity. 25 out directly in front. Of course, the late inclusion for Ricky Monty, who went out early this morning when he was announced he'd be playing for the Essendon VFL team this afternoon. And when that happens, that presents an opportunity. And that player is Jack Sampson. 25 metres out, directly in front. Can he deliver? On the right. He does. So the Dogs get their 8th goal of the contest. And a much-needed goal at that. They're still within some sort of striking distance if they're able to kick 2 quick ones. At 7-6-48. Playing Sandhurst 11-15-81. Not sure I'm really a fan of those scoreboard animations. They change the score, then do the animations. You think they'd do the animations, then change the score, wouldn't you, John?
All right, Cameron, you're overthinking this, I think.
Well,
you're bored with the footy?
No, it's caught me out a couple of times now.
I just thought you weren't good at maths. In the middle. Let's do it all again. You think about that while I'll call the footy. Daniels has gone in the middle for the Dogs. Also is Burke, the skipper. Shoveled ball over the top, Tardrew. Goes to half forward. And a free kick might be given to Perez. It is. For too high. So Perez is on half forward for the Dragons. He's got a lead and honours it. And Fergus Green, they're just let him do it. Just no one pick him up, Don. No one. Just let him do what he wants.
There was just no body contact, wasn't there? He just led up and did what he wanted. Led to the space.
You've got an AFL player out there, well, it's just out of the game, and they're just watching him.
You'd think they'd get a little bit more attention, wouldn't you?
Go and give him a knuckle or something. When I say that, a knuckle, not like the old days. You know, well, yeah, what you said, some body on.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Gee. Let's see what he does with this footy. I reckon he'll kick it. I said that before, but he's directly in front this time. I'll tell you, he's lucky. Has he kicked a goal?
No, he's fallen away all day. He needs to have a bit of a look at his tape here, and he's missed to the left all day. What's that, 4 points?
Yeah.
3 goals, 6.
82 playing 48 local footy, lives at Fresh Bendigo, so he could have had a major day out, couldn't he?
He's kicked 6, 4 of them have come from set shots. He really could have had a major day. In the middle of the ground, the Dogs will try and clear. It works out in the hands of Stewart, who had absolutely nothing forward, so he tried to hold it up for as long as possible. He was taken down by Wharton. Ruff got it, sent it forward, found its way to Hood. Hood to Tarju. Those two combining have been absolutely superb for the Dragons. Inside 50, Curnow on the lead, takes the mark. Well above his head, 40 metres out, directly in front. And I reckon Hood and Tarju will be in contention for that Bendigo City Framers Best on Ground award this afternoon, once we announce that after the game.
Our sponsor, a great sponsor there, Cam, isn't they? Aren't they?
Terrific award too, $100 voucher towards any frame. So Sandhurst through Curnow have delivered another goal. He celebrated it. And he might have been copping a little bit from the bench because he gave the old hand signals to suggest that they were chatting away. Kicks the goal. So he's got 3 this afternoon, Bryce Curnow. 11-16-82. The Dogs 7-6-48. 13 minutes gone in the final quarter. Our sponsor is Bendigo City Framers, of course. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
It's actually 12-16-88, Cam, I hate to tell you. They were taking it out of you. They were waiting for you. They did it different that time. They did. I only know because I'm writing the scores down. I knew you were going to get caught out in that. Obviously, the sting's gone out of this.
Bring my own scoreboard next
Yeah,
week.
it's obviously the sting's gone out of this footy, so it's one out of the middle by the Dragons. Hood gets it on half forward, puts it in the direction of Curnow, and Carragher picked it up and said, "Thank you very much. Have a shot at goal." And he probably had more time than he thought, and he ended up just sneaking in a minor score. So that takes it to 89, playing 48 midway through this final term.
Well, back into play. Rayner got it. Oh, Rayner's kick. He's had a couple of those chances today, and his kicking hasn't been spectacular. Hood.
That's why Ruckman don't kick.
Hood got it. Gave it back to Green. One way out from goal. Eaton went through. Couldn't take it cleanly.
Tardre's got to be the best, doesn't he?
Wharton's got it. Sends it inside for 50. Kerno! 40 metres out, directly in front. Kerno's come into the game in this last half. He will line up for goal number 4.
Interesting they're using
I know
up
you're going
forward,
with
Don.
Tarju, but I still reckon Lockie Hood.
I'll just go to Don with... interesting, don't you think, Curnow playing up forward for extended periods of time? Usually he's half-back, isn't he?
They swung him last year, the same. So, yeah, they did, which surprises me, to be honest with you. Maybe it's to put a few more blocks on to allow Fergus to get that run at it. But, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? He's a true defender, and Lockie Wright played majority of his footy last year up front, and he's sitting on half-back.
So Kernow's kicked the goal as well. He's got 4 on the game.
Switching roles for both of them.
He's been magnificent. I'm looking at you. The scoreboard reads 13-7-95.
17.
13-17-95 to Golden Square 7. Jeez, I'm having a man today. Golden Square 7-6-48. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. The score sponsor is JB Reece Stumping.
Well, we have a discussion about the better player for sure when it comes to our sponsors, Bendigo City Framers, but certainly there are a couple that we've discussed that'll be amongst it. A disappointing Golden Square here after what they showed, particularly in that second term. We've got another stoppage in the middle. We'll go for 3 in the middle. No one can emerge with the footy. I might have one more go at it, Cam, and let's see what can happen. Up they go in the ruck. Smack bang in the middle. Whistle. Non-officiating umpire gives a free kick, and it'll go to Dylan Hurd of the Dogs.
So Dylan Hurd will load up a high ball inside 450. Stewart's found himself out here. Kick didn't quite carry. Connick, clever tap. Found its way to Ireland. Ireland's handball will be chopped off by Westcott. He's then taken over the boundary line by Connick. Perfect bit of athleticism, though, to tap that ball forward. We'll get it thrown in. 60 from home. Netball pocket. Rayner. He won it down. Connick's kick. Worked out okay, though, to Carragher. Picked it up cleanly, then dropped it, then picked it up cleanly again. Got it wide to Keating. And his kick will be...
On the full.
I can't see that boundary line. It's right below us. But it'll be a free kick to John Coe, who, when he broke his toe, he was known as John Toe. True story.
Now, the Dogs have won it into the middle. It's definitely gone out of it.
Heat's gone out of the game now, hasn't it?
Thomas's kick is smothered.
Nursery rhymes.
Wilkinson gives it to McLean in the middle for the Dragons to half forward. It'll be a turnover. It'll be the Dogs. On the end of a series of handballs was Daniels. Daniels will now go to the top of 50. Good mark was Campbell. Again, they're shooting it around the back half. Ireland goes to Sexton. Sexton went to Mills. Mills short pass, and he hits up Keating.
Keating's got it, centre wing. Right in front of us here in our broadcast position. His kick goes down the line. Curnow, the intended target, used the body nicely and watched the flight of the ball to land on his chest. He marks 55 from home. Curnow will load up to the hot spot. Wants a fly. Is he going to get one? He is! Mark not paid. Spills to ground. Green was lurking. Couldn't quite take it. Ball spills. Umpire says we'll ball it up. But Johnny, not joking. When Johnny Coe hurt his foot, broken his toe, he come to train and they all started calling him John Toe on the Tuesday night.
I thought we'd left that behind, Cat.
Oh, no, but you guys thought I was making that up. That is a true story.
Yeah, it wasn't funny the first time.
Yeah.
Geez, I hope we get a close game next week.
Ball up inside forward 50. Battling hard in there was Rosengreen. Umpire crosses his arms and says we'll ball it up.
Right.
Is there any other names there, Cam, that you can put a little rhyme to? Have a look through, mate.
Well, I'd have to make them up. With that one, I wouldn't be making up.
I don't know about that.
As the ball spills into the pocket, and it'll be a ball in. So the Sting well and truly, and I wasn't making jokes when I said, let's get a close one. Next week we've got the Indigenous game, which is Kangaroo Flat versus Castlemaine. Potentially that has got...
Both teams would be thinking they could win that game.
They would, because every game we've done so far with involving Sandhurst or Gisborne or any of those teams, it's just a blowout every time. As Golden Square will win it out of the back half, but it's kicked straight to Rough of the Dragons. Rough, short pass forward. Keating receives. Keating plays on from half forward. He'll slam it long. He didn't really look. In fact, he didn't look at all. And it bounces, and the wrong side of the point post. So it's out of bounds for a ball in. As it's 48 playing 95, Cam. And we're looking for the finish line in this one.
Yes, as are Golden Square and now Sandhurst are just in that mode of no injuries in the last few minutes here. Coming down, Daniels tried to take it out of the ruck. Rosengreen's kick was smothered. Just fell wide. It's taken away there by Carter. Spills out. Dragons back inside. Tarju's kick, and he could raffle off who he wants to pick. It's going to end up in the hands of Perez. But he had McLean or Wilkinson to pick from. And Perez was just that short option that takes the mark. 35 out directly in front. Golden Square defence caught out napping.
Be interesting to see what Lockie Tardra's efficiency is. He doesn't waste it, does he?
Perez comes in on the right, fires at Goalwoods, and I think he's kicked a goal. He has, so he's got 2. And the Dragons increase that lead, which it's now blown out to a very comfortable 43-point lead. 14-17, 101 to Golden Square, 7-6-48.
You done, Don? You done?
Yeah, I'm just trying to have a look. When the game starts to sort of get out of your reach, you sort of still look for a little bit, don't you? And I just don't think it's there from Golden Square. They've just... Chips in the night. They've just gone missing, haven't they?
Stagg won the clearance, and now he's gone down, clutching it. Looks like a hamstring. Keep an eye on that. He's still down in the middle of the ground. Gets back to his feet, but he's very ginger. Square worked the ball forward off the defence. No real clean disposal at the bottom of the pack, but Stagg has not moved in the middle of the ground. I mentioned before you want to get through these last few minutes of their injury. Let's hope that's not the case. Trainer goes out to assist, but he's going to hobble forward, so he might be okay. Maybe just a bit of cramp, but it didn't look good the way he clutched at it, Don.
That might have been a corky, I think, because he's up and moving.
Working forward. Freckleton will come off defence for the Dogs. His kick was smothered. And we'll get a throw in.
A bit disappointed in not a lot of fight in the dog right now. Don't you think?
Probably a fair comment on this game that really have not challenged Sandhurst in the second half after what was a terrific first half, especially that second quarter. You just think if the Dogs can bring that full quarter intensity, they'll be a hard side to beat, but a young side, they drop away pretty quickly, don't they?
Yeah, well, they've definitely shown plenty. Just definitely they've dropped off, and before when it started to get a bit tight, they were the team that stood up, but the leaders and the quality list that Sandhurst have got, they've started to take over.
Ball bouncing around inside forward 50. No real clean possession. There's a big pack of players around this, and umpire letting them play it out, cross his arms. But the signs of modern footy is you look to the centre of the ground, and you've got 2 players on the opposite side of 50, and the rest all in that one half of the ground. There's congestion everywhere. Inside forward 50. Dragons will still find a way out though. It comes out. It's going to be a flying shot from Jake McLean, and he almost dobbed it too. Might have hit the post. It has. So 14-18 equals 102, and 7-6 equals 48. It's a 44-point margin. Bendigo City Framers local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo, thanks to our score sponsor.
Just trying to get some Loddon Valley scores through, Cam. We haven't had many come through for a little while, so at all, really, have we? It is the 25th today, isn't it? It is. As the ball spills...
Reconciliation round in the Loddon Valley today.
As tomorrow's National Sorry Day as well, I think, something similar to that.
Yeah, I saw a few clubs in the Indigenous jumpers of the Loddon Valley League.
Strosh won the footy on half forward. He took a nice contested mark and he kicks it goalward. Bouncing, tumbling ball. And it just, at the last moment, bounced in the wrong direction. And they'll mop up here through right, the Dragons. Across to the opposite back pocket to McLean. One bounce, then handball. He's got Keating. Keating now, long 50-metre ball to the wing. Maxted, contested mark, was strong in the air. Will look inboard, goes corridor. Hood's the target, but kicked it to a one-on-one contest, and it'll be all tied up just across half forward for the Dragons. 102 playing 48, Cam, and hit the kill button, I reckon, because only a couple of minutes to go, as Rosengren wins it for the Dogs across half-back. Bouncing footy, goes towards the boundary line. They're labouring after it. It was a bit of a contest, but both players are happy to see it over the line.
My sources tell me there's 3.5 minutes remaining.
3.5 minutes remaining in the Ron Best Memorial Cup, which will be retained by Sandhurst.
They have the best award medal awarded out on the ground for Ron Best.
They do.
I believe.
It'll be interesting to see if they're in conflict with us, but this game's pretty well gone beyond what we expected. I'm a bit flat on Golden Square. I thought they'd be better than this today, as a contest forms on left half forward as Golden Square are an
At the
attack.
end of the day, you did say a 6-goal margin. We're currently sitting at a 7-goal margin,
Plus
8-goal margin.
9 goal they've kicked 18 behinds to 6, so we're getting towards the 10-goal margin, aren't we?
Closer to, yeah.
Yeah. As the ball's inside forward 50 for the Dogs, we'll have a ball up, and
But Don's the maths teacher here, so.
Well, that's the 7th time they've gone in. They've kicked 2 goals from it.
well, if Fergus Green had kicked straight, it could have been nasty, couldn't it have been?
Yeah, totally.
Well, kick out of the pack has gone straight over the boundary. There's another one of those ones that we would say would get paid in AFL footy. Just kicking it out of the pack, no one looking. We'll get it thrown in.
It just doesn't seem to be part of their rule book up here.
Well, no, because that one was as clear as day as they come. Just kicked out of the pack, no one within a 10-metre vicinity. Maxted won it. Tarju got it, shrugged his way out of traffic and gave it off to Keating. Keating runs down, finds Connick. Connick marks, Trelfall comes and holds the mark, goes back the 5 metres so he doesn't have to stand. Connick's kick will go inside. Coughlin bounced off his chest. Trelfall picked it up, was taken high by Coughlin. Will get a ball. A free kick to the Dogs.
Haven't mind his game at all.
Oh, his kick wasn't great, but it might be a relieving free kick to Drew Barrett, who might have had his arms chopped.
He's been their
By
designated kicker, so he's had 18 of them.
He has been good this afternoon, though. Barrett showed some candy, then ran around Perez on the mark. Goes in the Rayner direction. Connick went back with the flight, couldn't take the mark. Maxted was there, he couldn't take it either. Picked up and sent forward by Rayner. Rayner's ball to hold free kick, which is going to go the way of the Dragons for Liam Island. And, well, you can see James Burke wasn't overly happy with that decision, but I think that one was there. Island will chip it into the back pocket. They'll clear it out through Alex Wharton.
So Wharton now, he'll send it to the Maroney wing and spot up Wilkinson. He'll come inboard to Keating. Keating getting his hands on the footy in junk time for Sandhurst a fair bit. Handball to a running Harrison free. Runs his full measure, then he'll go inside forward 50. They'll fly. Fergus Green went high and went early. I thought he was going to launch and he decided against it, I reckon. This late in the game, older bodies, don't you reckon, Don?
Yeah, put that back in your kit bag and
For another day.
Save it for next week.
Top of the square. It's a stoppage. Umpire throws it up. The ball is ping-ponging around. Rosengren gets one too high. Umpire let it go, in fact. Emerging with the footy now will be Stewart, who's been okay. Gave it to Trelfall, who's been good. Trelfall now send it long to Burke. Outer side. Long ball now to half forward. Strosh is the target. He hits him. He takes a nice, strong contested mark. Long way from home. Outer side. He's probably got the only bit of sunshine on the whole ground.
Daniels just got checked completely off the ball, trying to run inside.
Strosh
Completely unaware, and Ruff just nailed him.
Two
Completely
steps.
fair, but
Bang, and Kobe Maxted. It's a turnover, takes a mark, and he'll short pass it. And he'll give it to Polpret, I reckon, on the outer side.
I don't know if you boys saw that, but he was just jogging back inside, and Ruff just absolutely got him. Would have gave him a bit of a fright. Dragons will work it out into the middle of the ground.
Yeah, he's probably lost that football awareness after having a bit of time with basketball background.
Ruff wasn't going to let him just walk straight through him there. Dragons will switch across the ground. Got plenty of options, and here's Jack Keating. I'm going to call him the junk time specialist. He's been everywhere in the last 5 minutes of this game. Sends it down to Connick. Connick was strong above his hands and takes the mark. Will then send it over the top to Wharton. Nice kick, finds Wharton. Wharton thought about playing on. Eventually does. Goes looking for Kerno. It's a little bit of a grubby kick. Turnover. And the Dogs will bring it out through Burke. And he tried to be a little bit too cute with the kick for James, but it bounced rather awkwardly. Picked up and sent inside 50 by Connick. Trelfel happy to see it over the boundary line. He jumped back to be the man in front of Fergus Green. Sometimes you just got to kick the ball down the line and not try to be a little bit too cute, Don Moran.
Yeah, I suppose Fergus has been a focal point, isn't it? So why wouldn't you go to him at the end of the day? Late in the game, I probably would have had a go at it.
On the boundary umpire somehow managed to roll the ball back into play. We'll get it thrown in. Deep inside attack. We're in the final minute of this contest. Dragons will run out pretty comfortable victors in the end. They were challenged for a half, but they've been superb in the second half. And that will be that. Round 6 is completed in the Bendigo Football Netball League. And the only game today, the Ron Best Memorial game, after the rest of the games were played last week, sees Sandhurst winning 14-18, 102 to Golden Square, 7-6-48. Our score sponsor today, Bendigo City Framers. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Well, it's been obvious the game's been over for a little while, Don, but disappointing. But before you answer that question, in fact, it's not a hamstring for Stagg, unless his hamstring's on the top of his foot.
Well, he's got ice on the hamstring as well as his foot. See, you've got two lots going on there.
Yeah, well, he
Might be two injuries.
has. The foot looks the sorest, though, doesn't it? It looks, what do they call it on the top? The navicular. That is the area. You reckon you can spell that?
Spell that one.
Well, it's NAV something, but he's limping out to the middle. But
Might even be NEV.
no, it's NAV. It's NAV, definitely. Now, come back to you, Don. Disappointing result, really, from a Golden Square perspective. Anyway,
They've showed plenty, but they just played a half. So Cam touched on, being a young, youthful side can contribute to that. But when they went into the break at half time, we thought they had the flow of the game and the impetus to come back out in that third quarter to really put a fight up. But they sort of disappeared a little bit, didn't they?
They did. Now, final scores, I'll give them to you as they come through. They'll start to filter through. As we've got the girls coming out, we've got a girls game on, a ladies game between Sandhurst and Golden Square. So I think that happened last year, Cam. I'm not sure if you remember, but
Golden Square like to play their senior women straight up after, and why wouldn't you if you've got the lights at a facility like this?
they do. Now, Sea Lake Nandelli Tigers, 8-15, have defeated Donald 6-5. Back to you, Don.